Hello, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm changing things up. First of all, it is going to be like an afternoon stream. I have worked on adjusting my mic this morning because the other day I went through and I was looking at like my past streams. I was like, this audio is terrible. So I kind of feel bad for you guys. Thank you for over listened. Hopefully this sounds a little better. At some point, I would like to get like a better mic, but I don't really have the money for that just now. Although I do realize there are some cheaper ones. So maybe I'm going to see if I can get Rose to check audio for me. Rose is like always the person I go to. Rose, could you check my audio? See what she thinks. Does it sound better? Hopefully she's around. But yeah, we're doing. So today I want to work on one of the new things I've been doing, which is I've been kind of like not a New Year's resolutions kind of person, but one of the things I want to do is get better like character design. So in the mornings, which is normally when I do my warm-ups, which I'll be doing now when I stream, is I've been studying just kind of like character designs, breaking down how the professionals did it. And then lastly, trying to stylize poses from references after I've done some studying. So that'll be my warm up. And then we're going to move on to the children's book. And after that, I would like to fit in like an hour of working on the storyboard animatic and then hopefully have a little bit of time to work on the recipe wall art pieces that we did last stream. Yeah. So without further ado, let's collect some references. So I actually left here this character. I did her yesterday, 2 days ago. Yeah, honestly, not terrible. I was kind of happy with how it turned out. I can show you the original reference. Let's see. Let's find Pinterest. Yeah, so when I was changing my audio this morning, I noticed that like it was peaking too much. And hopefully I've balanced it a little bit better where it's not like too loud when I raise my voice, but it's also you guys can hear me when I'm talking quiet. On the upside of streaming later in the day, like I just finished working out. I have like a lot more energy. Although I'm physically tired, I feel like I'm mentally more with it than I am in the mornings. So that's kind of a win. Okay, so this is the reference I had for this pose. Like, I love this pose. I just think it's like to get the balance right takes a bit of time. I don't think I got it exactly right, but we'll have to do it some more. But I just wanted to show you guys that was that. So we're gonna pull out some poses. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to put in, so let's look for some characters. So what I was doing, I was looking for like Disney is definitely kind of like the style, like more that kind of direction I want to go. So less hyper realistic in terms of like character design. So those are the kind of ones that I want to study. But what I was doing was I was finding like character sheets and like old sketches from like movies that they had used. And then I just kind of like would draw them slash like draw elements of it, kind of break down how they tackled drawing the character and simplified it. And then at the end, like I was saying, I would try and do my own poses. So I'm going to try and get some. Okay, this is a really good elephant. Hopefully this person, right? That absolutely love. I usually try and like steer away from doing animals because I'm like too scared, but those days are gone. We are going to do it. Okay, blue for sure. Let's choose a person one. What movie was she from? Yeah, Jungle Book was an amazing. Ooh, Sleeping Beauty. That's also good. Okay, let me choose. Oh, it'd be kind of fun to do the dwarves from Snow White. That could be kind of fun. Or maybe characters from Rescuers Down Under, because those are all really good. There's so many good ones. It's like, how do you even... Oh my gosh, I love these guys. Look at this. Look at these geese. This is so good. They did such a good job at like, I don't know, just like giving like the geese that like quirkiness they have. I also like the way they drew like the bottom section. Like ducks and geese have like a very like heavy like weight to them on the lower section. And I just feel like the amount of like they make it so believable even though it's still like cartoonized. Or is that a word? It is now. Yeah, so good. Okay, I was supposed to choose a person. I'm not doing a very good job. Oh, here we go. This is good. All right, you know, which dwarf should we do? Bashful? I kind of like Bashful. So there was a duck I drew. Let's see if I can find it. Which duck? It was last month. And it's the one where it has like a pancake on its head. And I low-key like accidentally drew like Bashful the duck because we were like looking at it and I was like, who does this look like? Like, it looks like a character I know. Oh my gosh, where are my files? Was that December? No, that was November. Pancake. I really want to do this one in watercolors. Yeah, let me show you guys. Like, doesn't it kind of remind you? Let's get in closer. Like, I feel like the way, like, you guys seeing it, the resemblance, a little. Theirs is much better, but you know, it's kind of there. Okay. Still this. You know what I realized? I didn't check. Let me just make sure. I got all my references though, so we're good. I put a link on my Instagram and I want to make sure it works. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, good. It's working. Okay, guys. Let's do this thing. Let's draw. First, let's break down the elephant. I feel like there's a lot of like downward weight to it. And I like how like very planted the character feels. That I love. So that's something I want to think about. We're gonna do the dwarf last. Get a layer in here, choose a brush. Yeah, earlier I was working on my patterns, which I might be able to show you a little of today. Depends how much time we have. That's why I had that brush out. Let's use this one. And I'm gonna use this like dark red color. Good, we got an eraser we like. All right, first, let's break it down. The ears are kind of like pretty much these shapes. Pretty simple. In terms like the trunk, I like how they made it like they had this line here. Like it almost makes it look like it's made out of stone. I feel like it adds like another element of like depth to it. And then we've got like the big, like wide feet. And then above it is a fairly large joint that comes in smaller. So I really like that. Let's see if we can kind of break. And then for the head, it's really, we're getting like this big oval shape as it comes down into the neck, but not. And then we kind of like the mouth here comes up into like, I'm gonna call it the cheek. And then we get the tusks in here. And then also loving the line work here, where like we see like the flaps of skin as it comes down the neck, and then also under the eyes. And then we get a little bit here on the stomach as well. Also, can we appreciate the tail? I love how just like thin and twiggy it is. It's so good. Okay, let's try and replicate what they had going here. So elephants tend to have like this little lumpy spot on top of their head and the trunk. So we're not seeing the other side of the face. And the ears. I feel like the ears are, you know, I'm doing wrong. They need to be tilted up a little bit. And then they come down. And then they almost like curtains. They drop a little, but then we get like this. Again, like this is kind of like taking place in my gesture warm-ups. So I'm not trying to perfectly draw exactly what they have, but I'm trying to get the gesture and flow down that they kind of have. And so we get like the nose comes in a little and it's very subtle. And it comes down again, almost like this shape. It gets thicker down here. And so in terms of the body, we get like here. And so this is the neck. And the shoulder actually comes up pretty far. Then we get this gentle curve down into the ankles. So we're gonna imagine the head was here. Again, I probably should have studied a little elephant anatomy, but almost getting like that. I have drawn like horses and cows before. So I'm not making the legs wide enough. Yeah, a big joint there. Oops. I need to give myself more room. I tend to work, make sure you guys can see this. I tend to work a little bit larger. So it comes in ankle here, and then we get this wide foot. I'll make mine a little wider. And then with the one behind it, large joint here, and the stomach is in front. And then what do we got going for? Looks like the front leg here is back. Again, doing that large joint. Then the flat, wide feet. Almost like doing the duck feet. Okay. I feel like they add like this eyebrow up here. I feel like they made that look like hair. Let me separate these lines. And then it comes down. Again, I think I curved. One thing I was noticing when I was studying the other day is that these artists are really good at like subtly curving lines to make subtle like changes without it being too drastic. Like my instant reaction was make the nose curve more like that, but it's not really entirely necessary. And they're able to just so delicately adjust lines. It's their like designs are very like gentle, so it's not very, I guess very extreme angle and line work. Like everything just seems to like flow perfectly. It's almost like it's very similar to how like you would draw something hyper realistic, but they're able to do it where like they can exaggerate exactly what they want, but then keep the other elements really like subtle. I don't know, it's crazy. Oh, it's useful to keep the skin folds in mind. Yeah, especially with the elephants. I feel like that's a really very impressive. Thank you. I feel like that's kind of one of the things that's like really iconic to the elephants. But I don't think I did the ears long enough here. At some point, I would like to like really get good at drawing elephants. I'd like to get good at drawing all animals, actually. One of these days, I want to sink more time into it. Okay. Then we got, I'm just going to do this line a little. So the tusks. I want to make sure that I get, all right, hold on. Let me erase this out. So the trunk gets bigger. And then, okay, like Scott's thinker was saying, the skin folds. So we got some under the eyes. Let's do like the eyelid, like slants up. Got the eyelashes, and then we get the folds. So under here, like this. Maybe we do that one a little longer. Okay, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and then, so this looks like, so there's like skin that goes over the tusk. It kind of goes like this. And it comes down, and I have to imagine it's almost like a cylinder that gets narrower as it comes out. All right, honestly not too bad. This is not right. This needs to come down. But it's our very first one of the day. We're still warming up. Love this elephant though. Like, oh my gosh. Sometimes I feel like I would want like wall art of all these, like these character sheets and stuff that people have done for like the Disney movies. Like, I would just love to have these on my wall, but then I would have like absolutely no wall space left. So I have to be very, to be very selective. I also feel like I think I drew it an angle a bit there. All right. I want to do the geese because I absolutely love them. Let's make a new layer. All right, let's see what's going on here. So we're kind of like, it's almost like a little, like a triangle shape really for the head. It's just tapering here. And then we get like this straightish line. And then they have like, again, we're pretty much getting like a triangle shape here. And even at this angle, it's very simple. Also like how they did the feet. I wouldn't have thought to do that. This is why I feel like, oh, and here we get another triangle for the tail. This is why it's good to study. I feel like I can learn how to do probably things a little bit better by learning from others. All right, I'm gonna do this one here. I'm gonna start with the torso because I feel like that's the most important part. We're kind of getting like that little tail. And you know, the neck actually changes. It doesn't go straight up. It looks like it's coming at a little angle like that. I think I need to draw this up here a little. And then we kind of get into the head, which was, it comes up to like their little forehead. Then it very slowly goes down at the top. And this overlaps a little bit. It's almost like I guess it's almost like drawing a double chin. I'll say they made the bottom of the bill like really small. But I really like that because I feel like it makes the character look more like it has like, I guess, like a nose like a regular person. And I think it like Like if it had been like this, I think it'd have been a little scary. So that was very, very good design choice on their end. I mean, of course it is. These people are literally the pros. But once you break it down, you kind of can see. It makes you wonder when they first started designing this character, like, did they draw it like that? Like, did they start kind of drawing like a hyper realistic versions of the geese? And then slowly they started breaking it down more into like what we have here in their finalized designs. Like, I don't know. Imagine as I do this more, I will develop my own workflow, and I'm sure everyone has their own. So the wings come up. These geese are almost like multicolored because they're darker gray up here, which I also like because it helps separate just kind of like the layers of the wings when they have them lifted. Okay, so this one, we're seeing it a little bit from there. I think I may have made the bottom section of my goose a little bit too long, but we're gonna roll with it. Also love, they put like it almost looks like they have like baggy eyes. I like when they do that with their characters. And then, let me erase this so you guys can see properly. My messy draw over. I love how we get these little like sprouts of hair. I really think, or at least what I'm picking up, this may not be true, but this is what I'm thinking, is that when you characterize something from real life, what we tend to do is try to like humanize it. And so by giving the character like bigger eyes like this, or trying to make the bill look like maybe like a little bit more of a nose, and giving like the little like sprigs of hair, I think it's like a way of, I guess, like humanizing the characters, which makes it even better for, you know, storytelling, because we have like these animals talking and like doing human things that we kind of want them more. Okay, here we go. We want them more like humanized. So these kind of come at an angle. And then it looks like the feet kind of turn in. There we go. Which reminds me of how the ducks are. Their little feet will turn in. Honestly, this didn't turn out too bad. I think I made mine stand a little too tall. I'm gonna choose a brush that's a little less. I was thinking I need to turn it a little bit. I'm gonna choose my thicker brush as we do this other one over here. So we're getting like a shape like this. To the basics. And then I almost get like the lower part of the cheek here as it goes into the neck here. Very subtle. Just trying to get this right. Again, I'm drawing too big so you guys can see it. And then comes down into another triangle-ish shape here, around the edges a little bit. I feel like they do such a good job at the wings, like making the wings stay looking like wings, but giving them the ability to like interact and like do expressions as a human would with hands. That's what I'm always impressed with. Especially since I do my like the duck's eye draw. That's something I always struggle with, because I actually made mine look more like human hands. Like they have just like, my ducks have their feathers toward like 3 fingers. But here they don't do that, and they're still able to like really convey the emotion and like expression that the geese are doing with just their wings. Right, so the feet will come like that. All right, let's add the bill. Again, almost like we're getting a triangle shape. So I'm gonna put the eye in first. And then it's covering more of the face here. Down. Let me erase my line so I can see properly. And then it comes out to a really sharp point. I'm not gonna lie, I am scared of geese, actually. I mean, if they were as cute as these, I probably wouldn't be scared of them, but our neighbors have geese, and they will chase me when I go on walks, and yeah, I run for my life. It is not fun. Okay, that actually, it's not exactly like theirs, but I like it. So I'm seeing that they love this like line work we got going underneath the bill. And then here comes out like the corner of the cheek. Let me add a little up here. And they have this line. And then it become same overlap like on the other one. We're getting like I wonder the Untitled Goose Game got. No wonder the Untitled Goose Game got its reputation. I feel like, hold up. I feel like I know that game, but I don't know that game. I'm gonna have to Google it quick. I know there's like a couple games with Untitled. There's a couple like, oh yes, okay, so I saw somebody playing this. I haven't played it yet, but it's really, really cute. Yeah. I should probably like, it'd be kind of fun to draw the goose from that. Interesting thing though, this didn't really have like line work, which I really love about that kind of style. Yeah, the geese. They are very comical. I feel like Disney does really well with doing birds and like ducks. Okay, let's get this arm in here. So it kind of curves back. Then we get in the other. This one turned out better. And so it's about level. Then we get this curving in here. I'm just going to do this really bad because I feel like I need to speed up because we need to make sure we have enough time to work on the children's book. Ah. All right, let's do the little flippers. We kind of get like this, like their tummy, and then put like this. Okay, there we go. I almost want to look at, so like these are like more rough versions of these geese. I wonder how they did the feet on the very finished ones for the animation. Kind of makes me wonder. Because I noticed that the like, I don't know about geese. I may have to look this up, but like duck feet are like this, and like these two parts are lower than like up here. But when they draw theirs, they don't worry about that too much. Like they're here we see a little bit more where they're different positioning, but like here, like technically it should be back here a little bit more. But honestly, I feel like it doesn't take you out of it. It still looks right. Like you don't really second guess it. Okay, let's quick draw. Where did I put that file? Right here? It sits here. I want to do, not you. I was gonna do blue, but I didn't get to there. Guys, I need to name my layers. Let's do this dwarf. Yeah, but this next coming year, I really want to get good at character design and being able to draw characters. So I decided like each month I'm gonna study like a different subject. So I started early, but this will be January. And then I have like a list of them all like broken down what I want to study in each one. But like 1 month I'll do like only like faces and heads, which I really need to practice again. Like I was good for a while, but I got really sloppy after I studied storyboarding. But you know, I figure it'll be like riding a bike. It'll come back, but I want to be even better than I was before. So that's the goal. Maybe we'll just do the head. It's kind of like all right, so we can see they have like drawn here. It's just a circle. And then we almost get like a rounded cone shape on the back. And as for the body, again, it's like the torso here, like the hips and the belly are all just like a circle. And then we just get a little up here for the shoulders. As far as the legs go, those are really like almost like oval shapes. So we get one here as it comes into like the hip joint, and then like another one here. And then pretty much the arms are really short. It's not too hard. This design reminds me a lot of the one character from the children's book that I'm working on, where the arms they're very short. You really don't see the elbow too much. You can see it a little, but it's not like a regular arm where there's a clear like turning point. It's a bit more like kind of like macaroni, I guess. A bit more like that. So let's try and do this pose. So we're gonna do a circle like they did. And then getting like an arc line like this. Let's follow that. And then it almost looks like they're just a hair over 2 heads tall. So like there would be one head, and it's like this. So I'm just gonna draw this in. Then we get in the belly. Really like that. And this arm, almost all of it's like hidden behind the body. And then we finally get the hand. And again, look how like gentle their line work is. Like just gentle curves up into the fingers. There we go. I was watching, what's it called? Frosty. It's like the original, like Frosty Snowman animation. And I picked up on it. And they did the same thing here where the character had like only 4 fingers. But there was a scene where he was like counting, and like I would not have noticed unless like this is what I do, is I break these things down. But I noticed that at that point he then had 5 fingers. But then for the rest of the animation, they only drew 4 because it's so much easier. And I'm like, I do not blame them for doing that. All right, so I'm gonna put this finger back here. I think what I'm gonna do is draw more like this. And then if I want to do details, we can do that. But I kind of just want to see if I can see how they did this one first before we get into the details. Done. All right, so the back of the head kind of comes gently up like this. Yeah, I don't know how like animators do it because they had to draw these characters over and over again in like all different poses, and it has to stay like consistent and look like the character, and the proportions need to stay. It's insane. Like I have so much respect. Like I'm just trying to draw this character once and I'm struggling. Granted, like I know they're used to it and they're trained, but And like they do break it down to start, but still, it's a lot of work. Like it takes a lot of brain power. I know, like with the storyboards I've been working on, just trying to keep the little penguin character relatively the same has been challenging. So I have like a tiny taste, a very, very tiny taste of what it's like to animate. Okay, so the hand seems to come kind of weird. Like this is the longest finger, because technically, if you have 5 fingers, the middle finger is the longest. But there we go. I almost wonder, let's put the legs on. So it looks like comes in like this, and then we're getting the knee. So this is almost the oval shape we were seeing. And the knee ends probably about there. And then the calf comes like this. I think I need to make the leg a little thicker actually. Otherwise the balance will not be right. It's interesting how on this design, it almost looks like the balance is like slightly off. It like almost feels slightly like they're gonna fall backwards, but then once you add the details and I guess like the beard as well, how it feels balanced enough that you're not worried they're gonna tip over. I don't know. And in terms of the shoes, it's like a pretty much an oval shape. We're just gonna go with like that for now. Get a little bit that sticks back there. And it has like the little point. These overlaps here. And then the shoe comes up. Okay, so this leg, shoe. Well, I wonder if I didn't make, I think I need to make the shoe longer. Let's look and see. So here's a straight line down, straightish. Let's use the shift key, guys. So the side of the head, let's see how that lines up on mine. Oh, actually, not bad. I think actually what I need to do is move this foot back a little bit. These are kind of things I learned to do when I was learning how to draw portraits. And I realized there's a way to repurpose them into different drawing disciplines. So that's been kind of fun. And then, okay, so according to that line, it would start about here-ish. Now, I shouldn't be following this line too much because I wanted to do this freehand and see what happens. So I'm just going to get rid of it. So this foot kind of comes up like this. Toe back in. This comes into the knee. Let's erase that. Okay. I think, again, like I did this on the elephant, is I made these lines too curved. Put the knee in there. It's very subtle. So maybe let's try to do a little bit of the face. Let's see what's happening. So we got the eye line here on the bottom. The head is turned down. So here's the top of the head. Here's the bottom of the circle. It's almost like a fourth of the way down. And then, so the cheek, get this nice, sharp. It starts right there. And cheek comes out like this. The nose turns up and we're getting like an angle here. I love how the little dwarf characters are drawn. Especially I think what I love too, and I think what everybody loves about the Disney characters is the big eyes. Like very expressive. Okay, then we get tiny eyebrows. All right, let's put in the other eye here. And they're pretty close. So I know with like portrait drawing, typically your eyes are exactly one eye apart. So if I were to like face straight on the camera, there's typically like, not always, because everybody's a little bit different, but it's usually around one eye width between like the eye here to here. But you can see that they have theirs a lot closer here. And that's like a stylized choice. And I think it makes it look like cuter, especially since the eyes are bigger. It's just, I don't know, maybe because animals are more like that? Well, not really. I feel like most of the cute animals we think of, I feel like cats might be a good example. But I don't know what their proportions are like. But I feel like cats have like the big round eyes. He's something more like that. And then a little nose and the whiskers. So I feel like it kind of reminds me of that, where when you put them closer, somehow it just makes it more cute. Okay, where were we? Back to the eyes. I also like how they added very subtle, but there are eyelashes. And then let's come up here more. Give myself some space. I think I put this eyebrow in a little too, so it comes very pointed up. Like this, and then arcs back down, and then we get a little here where the skin kind of like frown lines, I guess. I don't know what they're called. And then we get the hat. And the hat kind of creates what we're seeing here with the next cheek. And also looks like the beard's kind of outlining that. So the beard comes out. Let's check this with the shoulder. So it'd be like there. So it's probably here-ish. I want to make sure I don't draw it too big. Let's follow the line. So we get cheek here. And almost like a chin. There we go. And then we get a little line here for the smile. Why does mine look worried? All right, we're not gonna worry about it. This is for learning purposes. All right, now we gotta think about the beard. So the beard on this side kind of comes like this. And then we get another overlapping line here as it comes in. And then we get another one about there. It stops there. Up here. This one arcs pretty good into, let's see, probably about here. I need to be quicker, everybody, because we need to start working on the children's book. Actually, we need to lower this line. And then the hat overlaps as we get a little bit of the brim going here. And I think I'm going to make this sag down a little bit more in the back. Get a little bit of an overlap there. There we go. It's not too bad. Again, I think it's because I sit in an angle, but my drawings are always slightly crooked. I feel like I should have drawn the foot more like that. I like how that turned out, honestly, not terrible. Again, this is only like day 2, so it's kind of interesting to see that I'm already able to pick up some of the styles if I take my time and pay attention. All right. I think what we're going to do, I'm just going to do some quick gesture drawings from reference to loosen up a little bit more, and then I'm going to dive into working on the illustrations for the children's book. Let's just do... Bash wasn't so shy to resist being drawn. Yeah. That's funny. Let me make my brush a little bit bigger. Yeah, so this is usually how I'll warm up. Like, these lines are a lot more It's a lot more like loose. So the leg comes like this. These are kind of like, this is kind of what I started doing when I wanted to get faster at drawing for storyboarding. But like, again, it has its own pitfalls. Like if you don't study other things, like when you don't slow down and try to, you know, like learn the processes of other things, you end up being a little bit sloppy. So there's times where like you need to learn how to draw fast, and there's times where you need to spend, you know, 20 minutes like staring at a drawing, breaking it down. I feel like there's benefits to both. And I wish that I kind of wouldn't have just focused on this so much. But again, I feel like it made me better for storyboarding. So it was worth it. It's just like it was like a season of learning, you know? Man, I feel rusty. And but yeah, I figure drawing is essential for animation. Yeah. Yeah, some people are so good. Like, and they like, you know, there's like people that just like so few lines and they can make such believable like gesture drawings, like the balance, and like you can feel the movement in the drawings, and it's just like only a couple of lines. Like it's amazing. I aspire to be able to draw like that. That's why I have like a couple timed like warm-ups I do. Like I made YouTube videos out of them just because I use them. And I really need to do them more often. Let's do this pose here. This pose is always hard because they're looking like down at the camera, but they're like at an angle because they're sitting up on a railing. And then they have their arms like straight and holding onto the railing. But then we get like the torso, it's like curving like this. But then we also can see a little bit behind, and then we get like the knee. Yeah, this one is really hard. And then this leg comes here. That's gonna be the knee there. Usually what I do is I kind of draw the hair in. And so the hand's kind of holding. So it comes in like this and then back out. It almost looks like it's a wrong, like bent, but the elbow kind of looks like that. All right, we're just gonna not like this line. And then the foot here. This leg comes about there. The shoe. And here we go. I think after this one, I'm ready. Ready to start working on the book. Not terrible. I have spent more time actually studying this pose, but I don't really want to put too much more time to that because we're already at 3. And if I want to do everything I need to do today, I'm going to have to be moving a little bit faster. All right, that's pretty good. We did a fair amount of studying. I think I would like to do tomorrow these geese again. Also, we didn't get to doing blue, which is kind of shame. So maybe tomorrow I'll do those. That would be kind of nice. All right, so I think, yeah, we were on this page. I decided I'm not going to do the like background elements or like any of the kitchen stuff yet. And what I'm going to do is just kind of like tackle all the character poses. Here I put in a note. Someone in chat was mentioning having it be like Christmas cookies they were baking, and I thought that would be kind of cute. So I wrote that in there to make sure I do it. Yeah, I'm going to Let me put these in a folder. Trying to keep my layers sorted. Really need to get... Okay, that is Sammy's drawing. Sammy. And then we'll move on to this next page, which has a ton of characters. And we also have Vicky's parents, which I've not drawn before, so this will be interesting. I think I'm gonna work left to right. So we're gonna start with Vicky's dad. And then this file, this will be page left. Alrighty, let's go for it. Make sure I got the right brush size. I was doing, this is 25 pixels. Let's see what's 20. I think I'm gonna do a 25 for over here. Actually, let's draw it out a little, just loosely. I just want the balance to feel right. So if I do foreground characters, pretty much like that. And then these guys are way back there. I might go back to, I feel like a 15 on them maybe. Heck, maybe even a 10, because they are pretty far back. Yeah, let's do a 25 foreground. All right. Here we go. Oh, for some reason my layer did not save. Page left. I hate when it does that. I don't know why, but the air is so dry today. All right, I have to say I'm feeling timid today. Well, I haven't worked on this. Last week was Christmas. I think I worked on it. I didn't get to work on it Friday, so it hasn't been since last Wednesday. So it's been a whole week since I worked on the children's book. There's always that, like, the 25. Honestly, now that I'm zoomed in, I'm gonna go with a 20. Because if this was 25, I feel like these are closer than here. Let's just go for it. Also, these need to be darker. Or not darker. Lower the opacity. You guys knew what I meant, right? There we go. I am very excited to be able to start working on the coloring these. Not that I haven't enjoyed the line work, it's just by the time you've done it like 30 something pages of multiple characters, you're just like, I just want to color. I want to do something with color. So definitely looking forward to when I can do that. But we're close. This is the second to last page, so then we're good to go. I still want to figure out how to get like music to play while I stream. I know last stream I played a little like Christmas background music, but some of it was a bit distracting. What I need to get is like a full playlist. So my brother's like a composer, and it'd be nice to be able to play some of his music on stream. But I want to just build a playlist where I can just hit play and I don't have to worry about changing each song. Oh, what the heck happened? So I need to work on that. Because I typically do work listening to music like all day long. Like without music, So this would be the hat. I have a hard time working. But to be fair, like when I'm streaming, like I'm talking to you guys, so it doesn't matter as much if there's like nothing going on. Let's put this here. Because if I listen to music, like it'll need to be orchestral if I'm streaming. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll get really distracted. Or even worse, I'll probably start trying to sing along to it, which is not. Yeah. There's a reason I pursued art like this instead of becoming a singer, because that's just not in my skill set. I kind of wonder. I'm gonna add a little rim there, but I don't think I'm gonna rim the whole thing. Just indicate. Subtle. Is this the right brush? Yeah, it is. I don't know why it feels different today. Just connect that down in there. All right, let's do the body. I think what I'm gonna do is bring the neck in just a little bit tighter. I think I got a feather here, there. Comes a little bit more. There's the arms that come up and they're holding the wood that they just collected for the campfire. Arm in here. See that. Yeah, but once I can start coloring, like I'm very excited to build like the color palettes for it. And just kind of like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like loose colorings of each page, like just blocking in like light and first like values, so getting the lighting correct for each page, as well as choosing like a color theme that will be like cohesive throughout the book. But this is my first time, so what I might do too is like some research on how other, book illustrators be keeping their illustrations cohesive color wise. There's so much to learn. I'm gonna keep the upper body separate from the lower, because I think I might need to be changing that. Save the file whenever I can. Yeah, it's just become like a habit. When I name a layer, the next thing I do immediately is like Control S. Like my hand's already over there on the keyboard, so I might as well. And I feel like that is a good habit I've gotten into. Also, something I'm really glad that I started doing this past year is I got like I think it's like 2 TB hard drive, but like once a month or like every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, it depends how much work I've accomplished within that time, I will back up all my files. And it just gives me so much more peace of mind knowing that if something were to happen to my computer, like, these things do happen, that I didn't just lose everything. And that has been really nice. So I definitely recommend it. And it was only, I think it's a Samsung one. I think it was like 200 was about how much it cost me. But I know like they go on sale. And you could probably get a smaller one depending on how like much stuff you do, but I highly recommend getting one. Just back up your files like once every couple weeks and you will not regret it. Okay, come on. Photoshop is it's like lagging out. I hate it when it does that. All right. Now we'll do the legs. Put it over here. There we go. Yeah, I don't like Like, I don't do like New Year's resolution stuff usually. Like, if I want to do something, I'll usually just start doing it. But this year, with the character, like learning character design, it's something that had been on my mind for like the last week or so, just because I've seen a lot of people that I follow on Instagram who are really good at it. And like, usually if I feel like envious, that's like my sign that that's something I want to do. So I'm like, I'm going to finally listen to that and work on that skill. And it just happened to be that the new year was a couple days away. So I was like, oh, well, that can be like my New Year's resolution, getting good at character design. So hopefully by next year, I'll be a wee bit better at it. There we go. So I figure if you invest like, I don't know, 30 minutes every day, just trying to like break down. And I feel like my process has changed. And it's probably, I would say it's thanks to learning how to storyboard, where like I've gotten better at breaking down like what I need to do. And when I first started like drawing, I think I was a little too scattered. And I hadn't like mastered all the basics yet, but I have a good grasp on all the basics. So now like I have the knowledge where like I can draw like characters, like I can relatively do those well enough. So like now the next step of breaking down how to like cartoonize, I guess, more characters is easier because I already have like a general understanding of anatomy. And I've also studied a little bit like doing the gesture drawings and the importance of like balance and gesture lines and movement. It's like I know those things now, and before I didn't know them, but I know them now, and now I can take the next step, which is going from knowing to being able to do it. So that's what I'm hoping to do. But I am a bit of a slow learner, so I'm not expecting anything drastic in a year, but the sooner you start, the sooner you get better. Okay, so I did this tail wrong. The tail is supposed to end not any higher than the neck, so I'm just gonna lower it a little bit. And I'm gonna bring this line. I don't want a tangent here, so I'm gonna make it come out a little further. And then about in like that. There we go. Okay, now for the hard part. For some reason, the face always gives me trouble. See the eye line here. Not like that. And the beak. All right, let's do this. So the top of the beak meets here. There we go. Yeah, but if you guys, do you have like any New Year's resolutions? Do you usually like doing them? Like I know some people aren't really into like New Year's resolutions. And I kind of understand that. But I know other people really like doing them. So it's like I feel like for each person it's different. But it's always interesting to hear what other people like what their goals are and what they hope they can accomplish in the next year. I feel like when it comes to like New Year's resolutions, or at least what I think it's probably the best way is to be like, say you want to do something. It's like you can start doing it, but like maybe for a month you're not able to do it. But like as long as you keep picking it back up, that still counts as like doing it. And not to put too much pressure on yourself. Because, your life during the beginning of the year might look different by the end. Like you never know what's gonna come up. So, there's always that. Okay, wait, we gotta lower. I'm not loving what we got going here. This needs lowered just a little bit. Do hat. Come in like that. That's usually how I do the other character. There we go. It's gonna be hard because normally when I stream during the morning, I don't have to worry about the sun setting, but the sun will be set in probably like an hour and a half, and then my room is gonna get very dark. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to light it, cause it'll just be like the glow of my my monitors on me. It might be a little bit creepy. Okay, we have this iron. Again, really nice thing is when I'm streaming, I have like the program up on my other screen, so sometimes being able to like look up at the drawing and see it from a different perspective rather than looking down on it is really so nice. Okay, we do the eyebrows. I toyed with giving one of Figgy's parents glasses, but I decided not to. It's like, I'll keep that about Sammy a little unique. Let's do a new layer, pupils. If I had to think of another thing I'd like to learn, like doing character like design is on my top list. But I would really love to start painting like oil landscapes again. Like I've done watercolor ones, they're fun, but there's something about oils that I'm really drawn to, and I never got really, really good at them. So that's something that I would definitely I want to try again. But the hard part is like it's very time consuming. And not to be that person, but like cleaning your brushes is a pain because of the oil paints. Even though I do use the water soluble ones, but it's like with watercolors, you just swish your brush twice in water and it's done. But even with the water soluble oil paints, it still takes time to get it out of your brushes. So there's that. And like I have to paint in my bedroom and I don't really like the paint fumes, and like I guess they're not bad for you anymore. I don't know, but I don't really like having that in my room because I don't have like, especially in the winter, I don't have like fresh air. Like I can't open a window for that long. Otherwise it'd be like freezing in here. So maybe I'll pick it up during like the summer months or like late spring, early spring, and then I don't know, switch off the watercolors as it gets cool again. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that one, but it is something I would like to learn. Okay, so we got the wood they're holding. I gotta make this. Let's see. I just kind of scribbled it in, so I didn't give myself much of a guide. We're just gonna imagine these are sticks. So we got one that comes like this. And then like that. So this one will be in front, like this. And then we got another one, kind of like here. Hold up, let's make this a little higher. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I also feel like I have like a growing appreciation for more like modern and abstract art. So I kind of would like to learn more slash do something like that. I did I don't know if you'd call that abstract, but it's kind of like a multi like medium, I guess you would say. Let me show you guys. I gotta take it down. So I made this and it's actually like, well, let me make sure you guys can see it. It's like fabric. These are like the tops from sparkling water. And then I did watercolor, and then there's some ink as well. And then I glued like buttons on, and I think did I use colored pencil? I don't think I did any colored pencil, but it's watercolor, ink, fabric. What else did I use? Watercolor paper, which is layered. Like this is watercolor paper. And then for like my shirt and this side over here, like this is fabric. Because I used to sew, and so I wanted to, no pun intended, I wanted to include that into this piece. And this is actually me. I did like I guess you would say like a cartoon version of myself. I took like a mirror selfie. And then also my shirt is fabric. So kind of cool. I would love to do something more like this. Like this is very different than how I usually create art. And like the way it turned out is very like unplanned. And I usually like kind of plan everything. And where I did generalized planning, like I knew it was gonna have me like in the middle, right? Taking the picture. But as far as the rest, it kind of like came together as I did it. And there was really like no color planned. And I realized that like these would be like projects for myself. Let me just hang this back up. Hopefully it doesn't fall on my head later. But I still feel like it's a piece of me I'd like to explore, like artistically, or like just letting myself, like create something that's bad maybe, or just has no reason except that I just felt like I wanted to glue fabric to the canvas, which kind of sounds a little stupid, but I'm the kind of person where like I'm a bit of a perfectionist and everything has to be like perfectly planned and calculated. And so when I get to do something like that, it's just like, it's really fun. It just feels really like freeing. Like I want to do kind of more stuff like that. Okay, we got to stick here. And we get one to come out like this. The true test is when I flip these around, we're going to see all the mistakes. But that's okay. All right, let's flip it. We're ready. Bum, bum, bum. Let me pull it somewhere I can see better. Make sure you guys can see. Honestly, this isn't bad. I kind of like the forward. I will turn it a little like this. I like the forward motion we're getting. This is the first time I think I've drawn and flipped and I didn't have to fix that much. Which I think is due to the fact that these were like almost the last sketches I had done, and at that point I had gotten really good at drawing the characters, and in the beginning it was a bit rough because I was still getting used to it. So I'm really glad that I actually started, I can see that I started to improve. Piggy's father. Okay, next. Yeah, these all be page right. So next we'll do Sammy. But first I need to get a drink. Low-key might make some tea at some point, but not quite yet. Let's at least get Sammy done. Like something warm to drink would be nice. All right, already here, I can see I don't like how I drew the back of the head. So let's fix that. And then up here, little curve. Yeah, once I get a color though, it will be fun because the characters, like these birds are all gonna be like canary yellow because they're canaries. And then I did the mole. So like moles are kind of like gray, but I like the idea of making them like a warmer, like gray purple. So that's the color that Sammy's gonna be. And then this little bunny back here is actually pink. And then we get green for the turtle. And then it's like a blue gray for this little pigeon character. So we got a lot of like very bright colors that are gonna be going on here. And it'll be interesting trying to, like, I want it all to have like nice harmony, So I'm like, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but I think it's gonna work out. I'm excited for the challenge. There's something about like figuring out like how to get colors to work well together and using what I know of color theory that's like very exciting to me. And so for a while I thought I wanted to get into like concept design. And so I did a lot of like studying like how to like light environments that like you don't have a reference for. So I studied a lot of like color and light for that. Just trying to like build like fantasy scenes or like landscapes that don't exist, or like I guess like fantasy castles. Or some of the things I drew. I did a fan art from the game Ratchet and Clank as a birthday present for my one brother. And that was kind of like at the peak of my skill then for doing like concept art. And so then was I'm losing my train of thought because I'm trying to find the file. Yeah, I feel like I learned a lot about kind of like doing lighting in that time. Granted, I feel like I've gotten a lot better with how I use my colors. It was still, I'm still fairly proud of it considering. I could have worked on like my perspective in the image, but you know, it was, oh my gosh, it was 2022. Yeah, that's when I did it. Let me see if I can find the file because I actually want to show you guys. I think I put it in. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah, art gifts I made for people. For some reason it's not in there. And it's not in there either. I found the reference photos I used. But I had nothing. Okay, so I have two different versions here. Let's take a look at this one. I think this is the one I ended up. This was the keeper one. Let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah, so this is it, and I got it printed on a really big it's like 20, no, 30. I think it's 30 by 20, like canvas. And it turned out pretty cool. The only thing is where I had it printed, I think I got it done at Snapfish. Because I couldn't really afford any of the like the more expensive print places at the time. So it did like a terrible job. It made like this bottom left section way too dark. So that was a little sad. But honestly, like it still turned actually funny thing. So when I ordered it and it came, the side, so it has like a black trim around it for the canvas. It ended up printing it over on like the front section. And so like the far right side here, like you could see black. So I contacted them and I was like, hey, I can't give this to my brother. It's got like a black line down the side. And they're like, we'll send you another one. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, so do you want me to send back the original one? And they're like, no, keep it. So I actually have two. The first one that has like the black line, I kept it for myself. And then the second one, which I was able to give to my brother. So it kind of worked out because I was pretty proud of how many hours I dumped into this. And I was pretty happy that that I was able to like, of course, like finally get like a good version to give to him because I was worried. I was like, oh shoot. Like are they gonna fix this? Like I wasn't sure if it was covered. So that was great. But yeah, so here, like, honestly, what I hate most about this, I probably shouldn't go into too many details because we need to work on the book. One thing I learned is like compositionally, this is not fantastic. I hate the tree here. We get like this tangent. I would have preferred if the tree's trunk was about here. I felt like the perspective on the boxes felt too sharp. And the background here, these buildings, I kind of like lightly indicated them, which isn't a problem, but I'm not sure that I love the background. I'm not sure it's tying into the foreground enough. And then also a thing I think that I would do different now is back then I was a lot tighter and detailed about the way I would draw. I think the way I would do like draw and paint, the way I would do it now would be a lot more how the background looks. I like using bigger texture brushes and having a more impressionistic style. But I am still pretty happy with how this one turned out. And you can see I was at that point learning about like light balancing. So see, we have these orange shades on the reflective part here, and then we're getting kind of like these purpley, gray, blue colors coming from down here. And then we have like these turquoise, green colors reflecting on the other side of the face here. So yeah, just kind of like things I was learning. And then we have like the blue light on the shoes, of course. Yeah, overall, I'm happy with it. My brother really loved it. But you know, like there's always something where you feel like, oh, I could have done better. So maybe I do another fan art at some point. But if I do have to say what I do like about this is I do like the way the characters are positioned. And I like that they're sitting on something. Because I feel like the characters were kind of like more chill. So I do like that. And I don't hate their composition. Like I feel like they were right. It's just the background threw me off. So just little things. But I was pretty happy with how that turned out. I also need to let me open up. I normally have the character sheets pulled out. Let me pull that up. I don't want to go at this blindly. I'll just show you guys this. This was like a still life I had done. This one I was pretty darn proud of. This was kind of like at the peak of my, so I had a reference for this one, just so you guys know. So the lighting and stuff did not come out of my head. But that was one that I did. And that's kind of stuff I would like to do with real oils at some point. But it is not this day. At some point, I would like to do still lifes again and landscapes. Maybe if I'm crazy, do portraits. I don't know. Because I was on the fence. Like, I really wanted to get better at portraits. And so I was thinking maybe I would start doing that. But there's more of me that wants to do like like figure drawing, like character design and stuff, than doing the portraits. So yeah, but there was that. Let's get back to the children's book. All right, let me separate this is Sammy's head. Let's do the sticks next. I am the kind of person where like I like to try a lot of things. I don't know if you guys are like that too. I feel like it's a common trait in artists where they wanna try everything and try all the different mediums and that kind of stuff. But you know, when you're trying to like make a career out of it, you're trying to like focus, you know, because you can't be spread everywhere. But there's still that part of you that just like would love to disappear for a month and only study portrait drawing with charcoals, you know? Or like for me, that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, if I could just pause time, like I would do that. Like I would just pause time and spend like a month or two just doing anything and everything I wanted to do. And I wouldn't worry at all about, you know, what's gonna make money or make my portfolio better. Like those are things are really important, but I think as artists, we all have this in us where we just wish we could kind of just chase whatever we were feeling like we wanted to do in that time. Whether it's for a month, whether it's just for an hour. So I don't know. I feel like that's where digital art's kind of cool because I can kind of do oil type painting like digitally. It's not the same obviously, but I can practice, you know, some of those like blending paints and using like thicker texture brushes. They have like, you know, those brushes where like you draw, it'll pick up the color from underneath. So it replicates a little bit of how oils work. A very little bit. It's as someone who's painted with oils before, it is still very different. But I like that I'm able to try at least semi-different mediums just digitally. And then I don't have to commit hours to you know, setting up a space for it. Okay, this is gonna be the lower body. Lower body. The upsides and downsides. Let's put this back in here. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I used to sew a lot. I thought I was gonna get into like costume design, but I didn't end up going that way. And this is gonna sound terrible, but like sewing is amazing and it is rewarding, but it is like, I'm not gonna say I chose art because it was easier. Like art has its own struggles depending on which like direction you take it, like animation for one. Like that is insanely hard. But sewing is like next level hard, and it was even harder to teach myself. Like I spent hours and I got fairly good, but I got to the part where like I needed like a mentor to walk me through projects because like I learned all the techniques, so I was really good at sewing on different fabrics, doing different seams, doing different hemlines, doing different techniques, like interfacing and like lining outfits. But the hardest part was learning how to like draft patterns that fit. And that's where I hit my limit. Like I knew a little bit about pattern fitting, but I struggled so much. It like every time I made something, it was so frustrating. Like it would never fit right. And that kind of just really, it really burnt me out. And I didn't have really anywhere. So there was one lady, I took like a pattern drafting class, but it was like a 40+ minute drive. And it was just like, no, it was probably more than that. It was pretty far. And I just didn't like, I didn't have the money as well to keep taking classes. And so that made it difficult. But oh, where was I going this? Oh, I would love to, like at some point, there's still a part of me that really would love to like fully learn how to do all those things where I stopped. And really like fashion to me, like and be able to create like my own clothing or like clothing that you can't buy anywhere. It's like to me it's like my own way of creating art, but like fashion is like wearable art in like my opinion. So yeah, there's still a part of me that really kind of wants to sew still. So I'm like, how can I make the two worlds meet? And like I would often like draft up like designs and stuff on my tablet. And so there's definitely were like those two things, like my drawing skills were important, even in like fashion terms. So he's giving me the hands. Hands, here we go. I know I didn't wanna, we're just gonna keep the hands really simple. Because the hands aren't really too important here. Finger. Because the brush is so big, we're really not gonna see many of the fingers there. There we go. All right, let's do the face details. Let's do the eyes first, then we're gonna do the glasses. And then after we finish Sammy, I'm gonna go get tea. And then I'll be like back in 5 minutes. Because we have gotta do Piggy's mom. I'll set the nose in. Wait, no, we're doing the eyes. Lock it in. Do, do, do. Yeah, sewing. I have so much respect for people who are like professional, like dressmakers, tailors, like those people. Like I still follow so many those people on Instagram from that time, and I love keeping up with their stuff. I think what I would do, I would love to get back into sewing, but what I would need is like someone else in my life who wanted to learn, like a friend or something, and then be like, oh, let's like learn it again together, you know? Like maybe it could be their first time, but like it would have to be like something I could do with a friend slash doing it. But I don't think I would take the time out by myself to do it anymore. I can actually show you guys something I sewed. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Howl's Moving Castle. So there's this lady who makes a lot of like free patterns, bless her soul, and she had a calcifer pattern, and it's supposed to be for like a softer plushie. But I didn't have any of those materials, but I had the different colors, and so these were actually a bunch of scrap materials I had from sewing projects. And so I, you know, put the pattern together with this is like a satin here, and then we have like a red cotton is this color, and then this was like, it was something that I had gotten from like a neighbor who used to sew, and she had like a bunch of fabric, and so she gave it to me since she knew I liked to sew. And so that was from that. And then what I did to stuff it rather than regular stuffing, I was like, if you're into sewing, I'm sure you understand because you probably do it too. I had like a bunch of scrap fabric, and I never really threw it away because it was like, it was big enough that it could be something, but it wasn't small enough to like, throw it away. So I had like a big bag of like scrap fabric, and I ended up stuffing calcifer with all that. So it's not like super squishy, it's kind of hard, but it helps it stand up straighter. And I was pretty happy with how it turned out. And that the fact that I was able to make it all with scrap fabric and there was no waste. I was pretty happy with that. And the pattern was pretty easy to follow. All right, I gotta stay focused today, guys. I feel like I'm just like showing you all the random stuff in my room. But I used to be really like into crafting, sewing, and then that kind of like led to painting. One thing led to another. I feel like art was the point, like where I could draw, and paint was like the point where it was pure creation. So even though like with sewing, like I could make my own clothes, there were like times where like I wanted to be able to bring characters to life or scenes that didn't exist into something that you could actually see, and that's something that could tell a story. And I think that's how I slowly started going down the direction of wanting to like draw and paint. And then here I am. I spelled that wrong. There we go. Put the glasses on a separate layer. Glasses. And then we're gonna make tea because the air is so dry. I don't know what it is, guys. Like I haven't needed, we have like a humidifier in the house, and I haven't needed for my like room, just because it distributes enough for the house, but it must not be, although it's really cold, so if we have to turn up the heat more, that's probably what's happening. I don't want to lose my voice while on stream because I am going to stream tomorrow and Friday as well. Although maybe tomorrow's New Year. I feel like people, they usually just party the night, like tonight, right? Isn't that usually what you do? So I don't think there's any reason not to stream tomorrow. Speaking of which, like, do you guys like to stay up and watch the time change? Do you go to parties, or are you like me some years where you just sleep through it? Because I feel like I am both people. I will, if I'm not feeling like being up, I will just sleep through the new year. But if I'm up anyway, then I'll be like, I'll wait, because like, might as well. But we never really do, like, we don't have like parties. But our mom usually cooks something special. Eyebrows. So like we'll have a special meal. But yeah, I'm not really, we don't like all stay up and then, toast at midnight or whatever you're supposed to do. But I feel like I would be down to go to one, like if I knew the people and like, if it wouldn't be too hectic because I am a bit of an introvert. And if there's nobody interesting to talk to, I am not really here for it. So it really just depends on the people. Okay. Let's flip it around. See how it looks. What layer is this? This layer doesn't exist. See how it looks. Fix it. Not terrible. Again, oh, that's another win. Readjust a little. I'm gonna make the pupils a little bigger. And then I'm gonna make some tea. Bum ba bum. All right. Let's put on. See, work. Where is this file? I'll show you guys one of my favorite animatics since we were talking about trolling ducks earlier. I made an animatic that's slightly based on a true story. Loosely. Very loosely. Right, storyboards. Oh my gosh, guys, I have so many files. Where is that? Here we go. I call it cow play. Let me see if I can find the. Let me make sure this is the full one. It's not that long. Repeat. I think this is the finished one. I need to have my brother do music for it. Cause he's composed music for my other animations and it turned out so good. Like the music really just brings it to life. Okay, this looks like the correct file. I wasn't as good about naming my files to make sure I had like the correct one. Okay, let me just make sure this loops. All right, guys. Oh, I'll make it smaller for you. I will be right back. This does not have sound, just so you guys know. So you're not crazy. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I got tea, which should help my throat, which is feeling really dry. You guys just had to watch this on. It took longer than I thought it was going to. You guys, thank you for watching it. Wait, let's go this. Yeah, that is probably one of my favorite of the animatics I've made. I don't want to steep. I always over steep my tea. Because I know you're supposed to do it like whatever timed amount they say. Because I will sit here and totally forget about it. Hold up, guys. My ceiling fan's... I don't want my ceiling fan on. I'll be right back again. Guys, my bad. I did not have my mic down. I'm glad I noticed that. Before I was like 30 minutes in. Nobody can hear me. Okay, layer. This is Sammy. I'm gonna do side head. And then we'll do the pigeon. Let's see, it's almost 4. I want to at least put an hour into drawing on the animatic. So maybe I do like 20 minutes more of this, and then we'll move on because I really want to make sure we get enough time doing the animatic so I can wrap it up. Okay. And I decided I was going to do these. Let's check our brush size. Was I saying about 10? Yeah, 10 looks about right. I also noticed I gave Sammy's mom, not Sammy, Biggie's mom, a little bit of hair. Or it's not really hair, it's feathers on top. But it's kind of like what they did with like the Disney characters. Like the little goose had like the little sprigs of feathers up top, which kind of resembled hair. So just trying to like humanize the characters a little bit. They're a little bit more relatable. Here we go. It's kind of flops over. Because I do have one scene where Figgy has their hat off and they have hair just like this. So I was like, we gotta have some resemblance. There we go. I think I want to make this a little bit gentler of a curve. There we go. Yeah, the sun is on its way down. That and it's cloudy out today. So it's gonna get dark fast. Okay, let's try to make sure we get this angle right. I would like to get like a more like ambient light. Right now I just have like lights on from my ceiling fan, which is fine enough because it's far enough away. So it's not like it doesn't hurt my eyes, but it might be nice to have light that more like bounced against maybe like the back wall and the ceiling. But I don't really want to buy a lamp right now. I do like thrift shopping though. And you'd be surprised how many times people will give away things that are still nice. And I feel like by reusing, it does a good thing for the planet. And you also save some money, which is a big win. Let's see, body. Yeah, I really like their stores. We've been going to them like my whole life. Well, because there was like a lot of us. So it's like me and four other siblings. So like buying brand new clothes for us, like there was no way. Especially when you're growing, like you grow so fast that like you outgrow your clothes like almost immediately. And so it really just doesn't make sense to buy brand new clothing. Yeah. I've been going to thrift stores for as long as I remember. There we go. I feel like when I was younger, I hated it though. That's what's changed. But once I like knew which brands I liked and more of like what style I wanted, and it wasn't like my mom picking out stuff for me when I was really little, like once I had like a say over what I was gonna get, then I liked it a lot more. And it feels like a bit more like a treasure hunt because you never know what you're gonna find. Like you could find some like really like expensive brand and they'll even have like new tags on them and like people give them away. It's crazy. There we go. And so that's always kind of fun. Especially when you find like something that you were going to buy anyway and then you find it there and it's just like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah. I am a bit of a I'm a bit of a loser like that where that will make me excited. There's something about the new clothes. New clothes that you didn't have to like break the bank for or feel like you were just like supporting like, fast fashion and all the fabric waste and stuff. So it's kind of nice. But granted, there are times where like I do buy clothes new. So, because I really have a hard time finding any like pants anywhere that I like. Even though like I usually buy like Old Navy just because I know their sizing, but they don't have like the styles typically at the store, at like a thrift store that I usually like. It's usually like others. It'll be like Old Navy, but it'll be a different style, and I don't like. So that's kind of downside. But if you take care of like denim, it lasts forever, as it should. Like denim is supposed to be like super tough. So, all right, let's do. Should I put this on a separate layer? Let's move it over a little bit. I feel like the balance is off there. Top legs. Legs. Get a sip of tea. Yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't let it steep too long, so it's not bitter. It's like a peppermint bark. So it's supposed to taste a little bit like chocolate. It tastes a little bit more like white chocolate, in my opinion, but then it mostly tastes like peppermint. It's pretty good. When I was younger, I hated tea. Like, absolutely hated it because anytime I had to drink it, it was when I was like sick. And so I just kind of like associated tea with feeling sick. And yeah, I was a no tea drinker up until about 2 years ago. So I'm actually pretty proud of myself for making that change, even as an adult. Because usually, like, if you don't like something, and then like you'll learn to like it as you get older, but like once you're in your 20s, and you could typically say it's gonna stick. But I'm trying to stay like really open-minded, just because I like to try new things. And so tea is one of the things I've taught myself to enjoy. And it's also great because it's like something you can drink that's like if you don't put like a lot of sugar in it and stuff, it's pretty much 0 calorie, and it's a really good way to hydrate yourself during the winter. Because often I do sometimes forget to drink when it's cooler. And so tea was perfect. Something looks weird about this leg to me. I think I wanted it to look like the knee was bent slightly. Let's draw it out and see how it looks when we flip it. I might just have to move it just a little bit, which is not a problem. There we go. See how that looks on the other. Yeah, let's bring it in a little. It's too wide at the top. The leg isn't supposed to change width. There we go. And I'm gonna draw the foot in. Yeah, now that I'm streaming later, I was like low key. Do I also stream? Like there's one game I would love to stream called Infinity Nikki. And I feel like I'm just talking about clothes and fashion this stream. But it's pretty much like you have different outfits, and your different outfits have like different abilities. And then there's kind of like a campaign lore. And so there's different missions for that. And then there's like every month there's like maybe it's not every month, but every so often there's a new season. And then like a new story and quests come with that. And so I really enjoy playing that. And I'm like, that would be kind of fun to stream. But I'm not sure, like I don't want to like stream something if my followers are like, oh, like she's a gamer. Like I don't really want to, like I'm not sure that's the image I want to go for. Like I think I might want to just keep my channel all art related, because that's really the most important thing to me at this point. Okay, this foot, these toes need to come forward. There we go. So no, I'll think about it. I think as I get more viewers, like just I'll ask people if they're chill with it. Because if people would be interested in watching me play games, then it would be all right. And there's also a lot, so there's like, I try to grab any of the free games that they have on Epic whenever they have them. And there are a lot of really cool games I've gotten, but they're not really like something you play with another person. And I was like, I would like to play them, but like, I need to have a reason. And they're usually like the art's really good, which is why I want to play it. And so maybe streaming would be a fun way to get myself to finally play these games. Okay, 2. Boom. Yeah, so typically like I'll work all day and then I'll exercise. But I'm switching it up on stream days where I work a little in the morning, exercise, and then stream. So I don't have to do anything after this other than just like eat dinner, of course, but exercise takes a lot of my time and it's kind of nice to have it done with. And then if I want, like I can work on art projects longer. So maybe like, maybe this is a new schedule I should just move to for everything. Because there is something freeing about like if I were to keep doing art projects as we get later into the day, like I know I have to exercise, and if I exercise too late, I have a hard time sleeping. Just cuz like I had just gotten like my heart rate up and stuff. So maybe by exercising at noon, I'll have an easier time, I guess, chilling at night before I have to sleep, as well as just being able to like, I guess, stream longer if I want. Like if we end up getting pretty far on the recipe project today, I might stream a little past 6. So gotta see how it goes. I also, the other day, I went through and I took a ton of pictures of more recipes. And so at some point I need to sort through like my top 10. I think I'll do 10. That's a good number. And then just kind of see which ones those will be. Because there are a lot of recipes. I think I probably took like probably close to 30 different pictures. So we'll see how that goes as to which ones I actually like. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. No, babe. Yeah, so let's do the eyes. Let's do, oh shoot, guys, that's on the wrong layer. I can't do that. I always do that. Let me just text back so they don't think I was just ignoring them. Sorry. I am streaming. Changed my schedule. She is used to me streaming at a different time. Poor Sarah. Okay, so what was I was talking about streaming games. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point, maybe not. All right, we got the eyes. Let's do the pupils, and we're gonna flip it. Also need to fix the tent because this is cute. Actually, I think in the original designs, I gave her slight eyelashes like I gave to, let's see, Sammy's mom over here. She has eyelashes. Actually, this is really cute. Okay, let's flip it. Let's do it. Honestly, not bad. I think the only thing that's bothering me is the head's a little wide, actually. But like if it's a little rounder like that. But maybe let's turn this angle a little less extreme. And let's make this eye a little like that. I'm not having any major issues here with the feet. Legs. Other than I want to flatten this out a little bit more. So it looks like she's standing properly. Flip her around. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit the tent a little bit. Rotate, not the text tool. There we go. Let's name it Piggy Mom. We'll do Mother because I did Father in the other one. Let's do Pudge the Pigeon. Pudge is sitting closer, so we're gonna use a 25. Oh my lord, that feels really big. Actually, guys, I was doing 20. That's what I was doing. Like, that feels way too big. Oh my gosh. Okay, head. And another sip of tea. Okay. What are we doing? Oh, that's right. Head size 20 brush. You can also see Pudge the Pigeon has similar to like feather hair tufts as well. I just thought it was a cute little addition. It also kind of reminds me, is it Baby Bowser? Hold up. Am I tripping? Baby Bowser. Yeah, similar, a little different, but let me show you guys. Look at this. Kind of the same thing going on there. Got the little little hair up top. Let's rotate it. It's pretty much the same thing. Pudge is pretty much baby Bowser. Boom. Look at that resemblance. Actually, it would be fun to do. So I'm doing like I did a Kirby and a Mario like themed duck for my silly duck drawings that will be coming in January. Spoiler alert. And it would have been, I didn't think of doing Bowser, but Bowser would have made a really cute, like baby Bowser especially, would have made a really cute little duck. I guess February? Gotta plan ahead. Okay, we're not done that layer yet, actually. And go here. Actually, I need to bring that line out a bit more. Erase. Ba, ba, ba. Let me take a look. There we go. Honestly, I think I would like to write a whole book about Pudge. That would be kind of fun. Pudge is really cute. How to think of a theme for that. Because like all the books that we are going to write are going to be, oh shoot, are going to be like mental health related. Okay, that was 20. So I don't know what, Pudge is an introvert. One of Sammy's friends. Trying to think what lore would go with that. Okay, we gotta fix these eyes a little. Oh shoot, that's the head layer. Guys, am I starting to fade? Is that what's happening? I should have made a tea with some caffeine in it actually. But I'm hesitant to drink any caffeine after noon now. I used to drink coffee like 3 cups a day. I was up to. Like it was all I could do. But the thing is like it's not like I have any like there are times I still want like caffeine coming into like the evening and stuff and afternoon, but I have found that I don't after a while it didn't help. Like you have to keep like upping the amount of caffeine you drink. Like I would drink it and then before you know it, I was tired again. So I just found that like the best I mean, it's gonna sound really cringe because I hate when I hear this advice, but the best thing you can do is like if you start to fall asleep, is like get up and move around. That's honestly the best thing. And like Sundays, I just accept defeat. Where like I'm gonna be tired, and it doesn't matter how much caffeine I can like consume. Like I could drink a whole like strong cup, and I'm probably gonna be yawning in a couple seconds. Like those are just days where like you just know it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. But I guess if caffeine does work for you, because I know my brother Joe drinks a lot of coffee. And it seems like when he keeps drinking it, so I assume it's working. But for me, it just got to the point where it did not work anymore. And I was like, well, why am I drinking this? Let's do the beak. But I do love coffee. Love the taste. I tried to quit it for a while, like because like I didn't really need it to wake up in the morning anymore. And I didn't really want to like if I'm extra stressed, I won't drink coffee. Just because like I don't want the extra acid in my stomach. But I've recently like gotten back into it. Yeah, there were some stressful months over this past year, but things have gotten a lot more chill now, so I can drink coffee again. Cause I do enjoy it. I just love having like tea is nice, but it's not the same, you know? Like it just like something about coffee in the morning, like a warm cup of it just hits different. I don't know what it is. Okay, let's do the body. There we go. One more shippity. Okie dokie. I feel like hold up guys. I need to relayer this. My like OBS was okay, we're good. My OBS was stacked over YouTube, so I couldn't see chat. Ba 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 eyes. Okay, body. Let's go. We've got okay, it's been like 20 minutes since I said 20 minutes. Granted, we were still working on Piggy's mom. So what if we go from like 4:30 to 5:30? We do Reggie Origins. And then the last 30 minutes, we can work on the recipes. Okay, let me check. So the tail here so this thing's slightly like uphill, but it is still too, according to the character designs, it's too tall there. So I'm just gonna fix that a little bit. There we go. Boom. Yeah, Pudge is to me like the most fun to draw. Pudge reminds me a lot of Bashful I was drawing earlier in terms of like really basic shapes that like softly curve into another. Just because they're like they almost like their torso is pretty much like a sack of potatoes. Like really basic. Very rounded edges. So yeah, I'm gonna do okay, there was a slight I'm gonna see more of this leg than I put in there originally. And then I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Okay, we don't want to tangent there with the hand, so let's be careful not to do that. And then this is like the bottom part of their talon. A little bit like that. Okie dokie. This like here. There we go. Foot. How's this look on the other monitor? Not bad. I'm just gonna erase that out a little. Alright, I'm gonna put the arms or wings on a different layer. Wings. And you see they're roasting a marshmallow. Okay, that's something I really miss in wintertime. Like we live like I wouldn't call it like a farm because it's like we don't grow crops or anything, but we're kind of on a farm, right? We have a fair amount of like land considering. And we have like campfires during the summer months and like late spring is usually when we can start because it's warm enough. And then or early spring is super wet for us, so all the wood is wet. And it wouldn't be that pleasant to be out sitting in the mud. So yeah, like late spring to like late fall. We usually have campfires pretty frequently. Unless it's like the heat of like July and August, because it'll still be like really hot even in the evenings and at night. And you don't really want to be like sitting out by a campfire when you're just like sweating. So but yeah, I like having campfires. I didn't, so like another thing I'm learning to like, for a while I didn't like eating s'mores. I don't really know what was wrong with me. Like genuinely, I don't, because now like I'm loving them again. Like I loved them when I was a kid. Oh, that marshmallow. I'm dyslexic, guys. I'm glad you can't see me trying to name this layer. But yeah, I'm learning to really like them again. Like they're really good. And so I've never did this, but I'll just eat them like straight up cooked. So I don't put them in between like a graham cracker with chocolate. And that's something I would never do before. But like my mom likes eating them like that, and my brother. I was a little bit skeptical because, I do love chocolate. So I was like, how can you eat them without chocolate and then sandwich it between a graham cracker? But yeah, it's actually not bad because if you cook them right, which I'm not good at, but my brother's really good, if you cook it just right, it gets like a nice like crunch on the outside, right? Like if you do it too long, it burns, but it's like right before, and then the inside's all mushy, so it's almost like caramelized. It's pretty good. And then you get like that slight like smoky flavor. Oh, I could go for one now. All right, we gotta flip it around. And then let's open the storyboards. Actually, this looks good. Guys, we did good. We got 4 characters done. I'm so glad. Okay, this is Pudge. Let me find the old Blender file. Blender. Is this the correct one down here? I still need to update Blender. I know I was talking about trying to learn how to use clay pencil, but I haven't done it yet. But I swear I'm going to. It's not like a New Year's resolution, but at some point in the coming year, I would really love if I would do that. But we will see. Also need to update my add-ons. Later. It's a later problem. Loading. One thing I've learned about Blender is part of loading is it saying not responding. But if you're patient enough, it will eventually load in. It's just not doing it yet. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alrighty. Typically what I like to do, I'm gonna run it back. Let's see how this is going. Oh shoot, I think I finished this one actually. Let's check it. Let's check it from the beginning. Maybe we just let's go in here. I just have to turn off single. Let's play it back, run it back while I pull up the PRF file. I have the character chart here. Yeah, that's like an in-between scene I need to fix. If I updated the add-on, it would probably fix it. It's just one more thing to do, you know? Ah, Reggie Origins. Where are those files? So I've been trying to like name my files by like year. Okay, here we go. I got the chart up. And tomorrow's a new year, so it's kind of like, I know it's a little bit like it's not that much work, but I still need to go through and like make new files for the coming year. Like this is 2026. This is where I put 2026 invoices. This is like all those charts and things I have. Okay, so the scene before that needs done. This one needs done. And then last time I fixed up the hand a little bit. I added an in-between frame, which it needed. Yeah, that one. Okay, cool. We're so close. So close. So I was working on Oh, I see. I did all the roughs of him. Okay, cool. So we're gonna do this. On to storyboarding. This is a bit different of a mindset I need to be using while I'm working on this. Now, it's been probably... Let's add a new layer. It's probably been 2 weeks since I... Oops. I forgot to turn on scene playback. Okay, there we go. We're gonna need new layer. This will be... What did I name the? I think I just named it dude. Okay, dude layer will be this one. I'm gonna draw him in first. Or do I draw... I believe it is... This is Greg. Yes. Let's make a layer for Greg. Greg. I'm gonna draw actually Greg first, just because it's the penguin placement to me is more important because it's kind of like more the focus than the person pulling them out. Okay, so this I want to lower the opacity on. I fixed it up a little. In terms of line thickness, I think I'm gonna do about like that. Let's stabilize it a little. Give myself a little bit of a leg up. Okay. Let me check my past drawings and character sheet to make sure. Let's just kind of draw on it like this. Little Bill. They're screaming. Don't worry, guys. I have plans for these other characters. Let me move my camera a little bit, guys. You can see a little bit better. I have plans for these other penguins to come back. So, fear not. Greg and Brian will return. But it might be a hot minute. They're not gone forever. I kind of like that a little bit better than how I had it before. Oh, well, maybe not. Hold up. Let's do the eye. Maybe like that. And then the body, I just kind of drew like this. And then this flipper is up more like that. And then this one's down. There we go. So I actually drew the flippers are based more on how the plushie looks, because Reggie is based off of a plushie, rather than the actual like way a penguin's foot looks. So if you guys like, Emma, I don't know if you looked at a penguin's foot, but that's not right. I realize that it's based off of the plushie, which has just like, it's actually I made the feet a little bit bigger than the plushies because I thought it looked cuter, and maybe it like help balance out the character a little bit more. But it's pretty much just 3 little like toes. Okay, so 1, we got 2. Add in a frame. So cheeks like this. And the head comes up. Like that. Add the bill in here. 2 point. I'm honestly, it's not going to be a lot of fun, because what I have to do, guys, is I changed like art. I should have never done this, but I changed the art style like halfway through making these. And so I need to go back to the very first, like this is actually part 2. I already have a finished animation of the first one, or animatic. It's not really an animation. But yeah, I didn't like it. It didn't feel right. So this feels more true to like my style. Like I was being too much of like a perfectionist. I was trying to make it look like a finished animation. And I lack those skills. So I don't know why I was pushing myself to try and make it look that good. And this feels more like it has its own charm. Like someone on I think it was actually TikTok. You know, TikTok actually, the community is a lot nicer than you'd assume. Like TikTok, I've had like the best like comments from in the comment section. But I did like a short talking about being like a scuff animator if you're a storyboard like animatic artist. And like someone made a good point where they're like, that art style has its own charm. And I was like, that's really true and really valid because I actually thoroughly enjoy watching people's animatics. Like there's something about it's almost like it's a little bit like stop motion because it's not perfectly framed out. And yeah, it's what was I saying? Yeah, I oh my gosh, guys, I lost my train of thought. That's why I have to like redraw it because it wasn't like in the style I wanted. And so they made a very good point. And after that, I was like, why am I trying to make a perfect animation? Like I'm not an animator, but I am a storyboard animatic person. Maker? I don't know. So then I was like, okay, yeah. I'm like, this is the perfect like in between. I'm like, I need to find I kind of like sold my soul on the journey of making the Reggie Origins, but then I refound it, so that's okay. Okay, let's see. For some reason this layer is not lined up with. Let's take a look down here. What layer is not? Oh, it's Greg. There we go. It was slightly off. All right, now we're gonna draw the dude. Let's move this layer up. Again, we're gonna keep this loose. Let me just quickly go back and reference. Let me take a picture here, guys. I want to take a screenshot because we got to make sure things are consistent. Here we go. And I'll just stick that up here. Okay, now we're gonna move forward. So I kept the eyes pretty darn simple. I'm also gonna thin down the line work. Not that much. About that much. Okay, we're on the correct layer. I'm gonna get rid of stroke stabilize. Looks like I just did this. Actually, guys, let's make it a little bit bigger. Maybe something like that. Okay, let's do that instead. Put it back to point. Just want to make sure that I'm drawing attention to the right places. The eyes. And the nose, I just kind of like did this. How did I do this when he turns his head? I think I have the... I want to make sure I got this right. Yeah, I'm going to be... You can probably tell I'm starting to yap a lot less when I do these. There's a lot that I want to make sure that is correct, which is probably how it's going to be when I start doing the colorization for the children's book. Hopefully it doesn't become super boring, because there are times where like I need to, like I gotta focus, you know, to make sure that everything comes out right. The arm. All right, so what do we got going on here with the hands? This is what I was doing. I think I made the thumb bigger. So we got the hand here. Finger, finger, finger. Wait a minute. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna make sure we don't end up doing it where it's just 3 fingers. Okay, so now we gotta go to Greg and erase out these parts. There we go. All right, let's do the next frame. The line work is about like this. Is there... Oh, it does say. Guys, I am blind. How did I not see that? There's like up here. it says what size my brush is. I am used to Photoshop, but that's okay. All right, so the head comes down. I think what I'm gonna do is turn off onion skins. I think that's kind of been how I've been doing things these days. Usually I just quick run the seam back. Feels more natural me to do that way. And the chin and the ears. Let's add the spiky hair. Okay, let me just pull this over. That looks a little unnatural. Bum, bum, bum. Shoulder. Shoulder. Then we get a little bit of the hand here. Actually, does that make sense? I don't think we would see it there. Let's just add skimmy fingers there. And then we got a thumb on this side. Like a bit like that. We go to this layer. Go to Greg. Erase Greg's lines out. Yep. All right, next. Just get on the top of the head. This will be easy. 4 pixels was the size. There we go. The top of the head, a little bit of the ear there. All right. And then head goes further down. These lines here. Okay, what's the result? And then they disappear on this layer. So we gotta add new keyframe. Why does it let me add a keyframe? Oh, because I was using the wrong button. That'll do it. It's like I set up my own hotkeys and I still struggle with them, guys. Nobody's perfect. Especially not my hotkey setup. Okay, so here's what I was thinking about last time. I just remembered this. So here we have Reggie's little arms. Like, oh no. But in the next scene, I was struggling with trying to like get that kind of like angle correctly, but also include the tears like how I wanted. So I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna kind of redraw what we got going here with Reggie, which at some point I already did. Actually, let's add in the background because we need to do that, and then I'll be able to hide that layer. Oh, that's too thick. Let's not do that. So it's about like this. It's the side of the box, and it goes like that. And then technically, oh shoot. Let's add in a perspective grid as well. Perspective grid. I want to put that on the bottom. So we're getting lines kind of like this. About the angle that I wanted it at. And like, it might like kind of gonna follow the line of the box here a little bit. There we go. Boom. One thing I'm learning to do is like, so for a while I kind of steered away. So my next animatics I would like to do, and I will be required to because of how the scenes are going to play out, but I would like to do more like background elements. because I kind of steered away from that for a while because I really wanted to like simplify things down. But I forget where I heard a storyboard artist was talking about how like nobody does like not that you want to get too intricate with your backgrounds, but like it doesn't take long to just like loosely draw in like buildings and just elements on like a street or like things in a room to just kind of like spice it up, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's one thing that I feel like maybe all the digital programs have kind of like made us lean towards, but I was looking through like the art books from House Moving Castle that my brother gave me, and in like his loose like storyboards, you could just see like the little indications with just a pencil really just kind of like brings them to life. And it really doesn't take much. And it doesn't have to be like a perfect, like if the side of your building isn't perfectly straight, like it doesn't matter. Like it's the storyboard, it's loose, it's for getting the feelings across and kind of like showing you like what is the environment. And so that's kind of something I want to incorporate more into my works is like creating more like meaningful backgrounds that have a bit more character to them, as well as like, the main characters. But I don't know, some thoughts for food in terms of story creation. Okay, it's this layer I need to get rid of. This is the one I think I liked. So I had the tears come over the face. So we're gonna need a new layer. I'm gonna name this one Reggie. Let's see how big this brush looks. It looks pretty good. I want it to be fairly large because Reggie's gonna be taking up a big part of the screen here. Probably wouldn't really see Reggie's. I think what I need to do, because it's a sharper profile, something like this. I can kind of like see the cheek. So the markings, actually hold up, the markings come lower like that. And then we get the bill, not the bill, the beak. What do they call it? Penguins? Is it like a beak or a bill for penguins? I think it's a beak because bills are usually flatter. But if you guys know, let me know. I should know this. I'm drawing like a penguin for how long? Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's like 18. Let's draw the arm. Arms like that. Perhaps I bring it down just a little bit. Let's also rotate it. I think I would want it more faced out like this. I'll draw the tears on a different layer because I don't want to mess with erasing out the lines I just had. At this point, let's turn back on the onion skinning. So the head turns more like that. Ba, ba, ba. Also, we're going to cheat and use the smudge tool a little to move this around. I mean, it's not cheating. It's more like, it's like an assistance. Feels like cheating some days when you think about how they had to do it originally. Pretty much is a cheat. Where is the, oh, here it is, sculpt. Okay, so this is what's happening. If anyone in chat uses Blender and could tell me why it does this, so sometimes when I go to use the sculpt tool, it works fine. But sometimes, if it's a different scene typically, so a different grease pencil layer, it will not let me use like, this is the grab or the push. It doesn't let me use any of those. Like it just doesn't show up. And I really do not understand why. Like I would love to know like here, yeah, so now it's letting me use the grab tool. But if I go to this grease pencil and I try to use either or, it does not show up. I have no idea why. I have not been able to figure it out. So we will not be using the smudge tool, guys. We're going to be doing this the hard way. But yeah, that, I would love to know how to fix that. So please, anybody, if you know, I would love to know. Like, what am I doing wrong, you know? I mean, like, I use like the grease pencil a lot, but I will be fair. I don't actually know a ton about how to actually use Blender in terms of sculpting and modeling and, you know, like 3D. I use more like the 2D stuff. So still a lot. I really don't I have my own little corner of Blender that I know how to use pretty darn well now, but there is a large section that I have not touched yet. And I would low-key really like to. But again, it's like, you know, like, do I divide my time into that, like learning 3D, which would be really fun. But I already know for a fact that like that's gonna take a lot of time. Like, you don't learn that in a day, that's for sure. So I don't know. Like, what do I do? Which line? Here we go. Just gonna erase that out a little bit. Yeah, if I learned how to use 3D, what my main goal would be is I want to like 3D print, like be able to make things and then 3D print them. Because what I really want to make, so like this is the pen holder I have now. Looks like a donut actually. I would love to 3D print one to hold my pen in. And I have like plans of making one, but it did not go well. It looked like hot trash. So I never got around to finishing it. Okay, we gotta get the back of the head in here. Which I kind of regret. So maybe this year I will work on it. I don't know. Maybe I'll learn a little. Learning 3D kind of reminds me what I was talking about with learning how to sew though, is like it's a lot of hours before you can do anything good. You know? And like, I mean, art, granted, is like very similar, but I feel like if you follow like a little video, like how to paint a flower, you could probably get pretty darn close. And so it's like, I guess the more instant gratification. So more power to people who do 3D. It is. And like, not only do you have to, it's like, say you learn how to model, right? Well, like, if you're not 3D printing it and you want to have your like models like do something, so you have to like rig them. So you have to learn how to do that. And then you have to learn about animation. And then like, okay, sure, you've got like the animation and they're doing it. You have to light the scene. So you have to learn about lighting and textures. It's so much. But I would like to learn at some point. Probably not this year. The extent I would probably get to is like knowing enough that I can make things that I can 3D print. And then that would be good enough. Good enough for the time, you know? Okay, wait, where's the stroke? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Yeah, I also wanted to make, so I collect vinyls. And I wanted to make like wall mounts. Like they sell ones on Amazon, but they don't look like I'm worried about it falling out. And so I wanted to make like ones that were wider and had a higher like a nicer lip on the edge, and then also like it would be prettier because I can make them in different colors and whatnot. But yeah, never Never got it to work. I started and then it's like, so for 3D printing, the challenge is like I needed to know like how far will like the nail or screw that I use to mount it on, like how far will it go into the design? And so you have to like know those measurements perfectly before you were to print it. And when it comes to math, I'm not that savvy. Let's just say that. So yeah, didn't end up doing that. I'm like, I need like a crash course in. All right, let's put the tears in. Let's see how it looks with tears. Make poor Reggie cry. Maybe what I do, these will move slightly each. So Reggie doesn't move every frame. But like the tears could move every one that the other one is doing. There you go. Oops. All right, let's play it back. And so what I think I'm going to do is this is where I'm actually going to use fill, but I'll leave it slightly with the opacity lower. So you'll see the arm through the tears because water is transparent. That's what I'm going to do. I could do that now because it would only take a couple seconds. Tear fill. All right, let's go to our fill layers. I'm gonna have to create a new layer, a new texture. New. Oh shoot, did I just crash Blender? Oh, I think I just crashed Blender. Please don't crash. I don't remember the last time I saved. Loading. It did not crash. Yes. Okay, guys, we're gonna save the file quick. Save that quick. It's taking its good old time. Okay, now we're gonna create the new layer. This will be a fill with no line, no stroke, and we want a blue color. All right, let's give it a try. That looks good. And we'll change the opacity here. Yeah, Blender is actually my first. So I tried Storyboard Pro for a little while when I took the storyboard mentorship program, but I didn't have access to it anymore afterwards. And I feel like I didn't know very much back then to like fully use it to its potential. So a lot of what I do in Blender, I kind of wonder like are these like all things you can do in shoot, I'm losing my layer. Bum, bum, bum. Storyboard Pro, like I don't know. So I'm a little sad that I didn't get to try it like and use it to more of its potential. I did try some of its 3D features and they were a bit jank, but that's to be expected. Like it's not really a 3D program. They could be a lot better now though. That was like 2022. And I know they're always working on upgrading, so but yeah, I do like Blender's fill layers. But again, it is tough because like I'm a Photoshop artist and I like my pixel brushes. And it's tough when you have to use these like vector-based ones because you don't get those nice textures and as organic of a look. But I'm learning how to like develop an art style that works with it. I think my first tendency when I started doing it was like everything needed to be perfect, right? But like pretty quickly, like everything just looks like you tried but you failed. And so what I find better is just let me go back to this other layer. Maybe we should add like the tears in here already. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that one. Because I just wanted this to have like the dramatic anime tears. Okay, this scene should be simple, guys. It's just a pan out. Reggie doesn't really do anything, but I think I'll have the tears move down the face again. Which layer is this? This one. Rough sketch. Yeah, I did. So one animatic I made, my most recent, I believe. Yeah, I don't think I've done any more animatics since then. I mostly focused on like commercial type storyboards, but I did one inspired by a VR game, like a zombie one. And I tried some different like vector-based textured brushes. And I think they looked kind of nice. Like it helped with like the grunge type feel. But I decided not to do that with the Reggie boards. I wanted these to have that very like clean, almost like ballpoint pen type look. And I think it works. Almost, I guess it's almost like a Sharpie because like once you, with the line starts and ends, you know, and there's really no, it's not really much of a taper and there's not much of a texture. Okay, I can't say. Let's add in, oh, this doesn't, I think I made the head way too wide. This doesn't look enough like, oh shoot. Guys, I can't see. Hold on, let me change. There we go. That's a bit more how I draw Reggie's head. It's like throwing me off. Save file. I think, let's clean this up a little bit. Let's give myself guides. Okay, a little. Actually, Reggie's looking up, so we need to make sure that we got the eye line here, cheeks here. I'm just gonna actually erase this. The bill will reach up. Oh, we gotta get rid of this stroke stabilization. Because they're looking up, and then we will see this bottom part as it comes in, and then Reggie has these little feather tufts down here. The cheek, and I want the cheek to come up sharper, and then the head makes it a little cuter. Then face markings come in like this to the point. Take it a little bit more like that. There we go. And in terms of the body, I don't think we're going to see that much of the arm. And the torso comes straight down. Or a little at an angle. Let's fix this arm up a little bit here. All right, how's Reggie looking? Pretty good. I think I'm going to put the feet at a slight angle. Maybe a bit more realistic. Not perfectly in front. There we go. All right, so this will come out from the shoulder. Maybe come a little bit more like that. Then the body comes in here. This is about the side we're seeing there. This arm would come, I think this arm would actually come forward more. Let's have it meet about here. Torso. That looks better. Now let's put in the eyes. I like it. Okay. Let's clean it up then. Let's make our brush bigger. This will be our Reggie. Let me name this layer. Reggie. And I'm going to put stroke stabilize on again. That feels right. I think what I might do, I need to turn off. Let's do it here while it's on this straight. Because the camera does, oh my lord, I forgot the term. That's like a tilt. I don't know if that's, there's like a different name, I believe, for it. But I have it do that. And it kind of throws me off drawing wise. So I need to make sure that I do the drawing when it's straight. The cheek. Zoom out. I want it to feel like a pretty downward shot, so I made the body a lot smaller. I want mostly the head to be the center of attention. Let's do the feet. That doesn't look right. There we go. And the bill. The beak, not the bill, Emma. Is this? We get, I think, 2 more scenes. And then we are done. My tea got cold, which is a little tragic. It's iced tea now. All right. Let's do the eyes. Put this in. Bada bing. Bada boom. Actually, it'd be more like looking that direction. And then let me follow the reference for how to draw the feathers. It's about like this. Is how we did it. Let's run the scene back. I don't like that I have that connected. It needs to be more like this. I think I'm going to speed up this scene because should I keep their mouths smaller? Maybe like he's more in shock. Or is it like totally horrified? Just shed. I don't know. You gotta be really. I think I'm gonna keep it fairly small like that. Let's do another layer for the background BG. Didn't actually end up seeing that much. Let's thin down this line. There we go. So I want it to be about like that. See how this feels back here. I think what I need to do is I want, so the perspective lines I've got going now, the point would probably be about here-ish. Let's see how those feel. What I want is that the lines need to be leading us to Reggie. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I want to be our eyes like directed to Reggie, and you can use your perspective lines to help do that. What if I arc these a little to kind of like low-key fisheye it a little, and then do that. Could be a bad idea, but I kind of like it because I want it to feel really like, I want it to feel a little whack, you know? Like Reggie's little world is falling apart. Like he just lost his buddies. Okay, so this line would arc down. This one would arc up. This is not a perfectly correct fisheye because technically those other lines should get arced, but I'm not going to worry about it. I just want it to be a little bit wonky. Okay, let's zoom in here. So let's use our point eraser. We gotta cut off this line here. Oh shoot. That went a lot longer than I thought it would. So it only erases it at the point. There we go, now I can stroke. Delete that. And like that. Hold up, let me think about this, guys. I shouldn't have attempted something I'm not that familiar with. Would it be like this? Or would it be more like, I should have studied this a bit better, how to draw fisheye. All right, we know we're not going to stress about it because this scene is so quick, and we don't even see most of the box up there. I think a lot of the story gets told here with these bottom lines, so I'm happy with that. That would be kind of fun, though, to maybe spend some time drawing different perspectives. There were a couple times this year I studied like drawing like POV type perspective, like I drew my room and stuff like from life, and it is really difficult to do right. Like there are some people that do some crazy good. There we go. Crazy good ones. And like I aspire to do that. But I didn't practice enough, obviously. Okay, let's move. I don't like that this background layer here is too close to their foot. There we go. Just unselect that. Ba, ba, ba. All right, so it's 5:12. We've got enough time to work on. Ba, ba, ba. Brian or Greg gets pulled away. Reggie cries. Ah, we gotta add the tears. Tears. Let's do that. Oops. Okay, that line thickness seems about right. Should we have like wild tears, or should we tame them down a little? What do you guys think? Let's see how it looks. If we don't like it, we change it. Okay, some reason it's not letting me see the object layers. I don't know why. Sometimes it's a little weird. You have to like re-click on it to see. Grease pencil. Oh, I know why. Because I only have one frame. My gosh. I swear I've done this before, guys. Wait. Here we go. New keyframe. Let's turn on. About like that. Just gonna do the same thing I did on the other one. Yeah, because I really do want to make sure we have enough time to work on the recipes. I'm very excited about doing that. I want it to come together quicker. I don't want to wait forever if I can finally have them to give to people. Ba, ba, ba. I wish I had time this past year to do like Christmas cards to send to people like with my art, but it just did not work out. Like, I have ideas and I wish I could do them, but I run out of time and money and then it doesn't happen. But hopefully next year I can think ahead enough and I want to do it. Especially since I'm gonna have like I have so many Christmas themed like ducks already. And I had the collection before, which I was gonna. Okay, I actually really like this. Maybe this is not a bad idea. But I want the scene to go faster, so let's find our track position. We need to find the keyframe for that and speed it up. We'll see how this feels. Yeah, I like that better. Maybe we do, it is a little fast. Let's try this. Yeah, let's go with that. So another keyframe here. Tears, tears, tears. I keep adding another layer instead of hitting go back. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, I might need to extend these lines. Here's what I should do. I should go to the end of the frame. So I'm gonna put this entire and then draw it. Let's see how it looks. Is one sad penguin. Poor Reggie. Okay, these seem longer. Okay, this is the upside though. You can like infinitely stretch and pull these vector lines and you do not hurt them, which is my favorite part. That you cannot do with pixels. Because you definitely do be noticing when those get messed with. Okay, this line, I'm gonna bring over here. Stretch it down. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Okay, there we go. Actually, let's change this a little. Guys, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna be even more hungry once we start working on the food. Okay, tears, tears, tears. So sad. Then let's add another layer here. Although maybe, shoot, I didn't think of this. Okay, let's, so it'd probably be about here. I need to start thinking, like, it would puddle on the ground, wouldn't it? Like, we're gonna see it. Like, where are the tears going? Like, off into infinity? I don't know. So that's kind of like, maybe we add that in. I mean, like, why not? Like, these Reggie boards are for, I'm making them because I really want to tell a story, but there's also no, like, it needs to be, like, a specific style. Like, if I want to give it, like, crazy anime tears, then who's to say that that's not possible? It's part of Reggie lore now. Reggie cries like a anime character. Let me get a tangent there. Let's not do that. Let's see how this looks. A little ridiculous? Yes. But do we like it? I think I like it. It's not bad. All right, now let's add the fill quick. Tier fill. We already created that layer. So we got that material that we need already. Let me just scroll through and find it. Here we go. Opacity, lower it. Let me go back and check 65. So the next scene, let me get 65 as well. 0.65. Okay, let's draw these tears in. I'm gonna do myself a favor and zoom in. This is why I wish it might be working. Really handy is using the smudge tool when you're doing fills. Like if it ends up on the other side of your line work, you just smudge it a little, fixes it. It's so much easier than just keeping like redrawing, because if you start to erase out a fill like this, it yeah, it's not letting me use it though. No. It just changes the line. That sucks. Yeah, let me show you guys. This is what happens. So it's taking out points on it, and so it's just connecting to wherever the point stops. So see, if I were to draw like this shape, you can see the straight line is just the loop as it reconnects to the first point. And yeah, you cannot erase out because then you get that weird straight line, which is sometimes helpful if you're drawing things that are straight. But usually I will use the smudge tool, and then it's just much easier because you can just push the lines back over. There we go. Another layer. Okie dokie. Yeah, so I don't know normally. So what we have for like New Year's dinner is something called sauerbraten, and it's a German dish. And it's like you marinate the beef for like it's like a roast type of thing. I forget how long you marinate it. And then you like cook it down, and it's like a very, I forget what she marinates it in. I think it's like a vinegar. So it's like very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a very strong taste, but it's really good. And then you make, I feel like I speak some German and I should be able to pronounce this, but like this is just how my family has said it for years, so I don't know the exact way to say it. But you make what's called spätzles, and they're kind of like, it's like this egg dough that you cook in boiling water, and you have like a spatula maker, which is almost like a big cheese grater, and you grate the dough, and then it falls into the boiling water, and then you can put gravy over it or eat it with typically with the meat, and then with sauerkraut as well. So that's usually what we have, because I'm not sure how factual this is, but I was told as a kid that you're supposed to eat sauerkraut on the new year for good luck. So I don't know. I don't know how like true that is. If that was maybe just something that like my grandmother knew, I don't know. But I think that's like a German thing. But I think you normally eat also like you're supposed to eat like pork too or something with it. I don't know. I'm not sure what the rules are. I'd have to look that up. But it all tastes really good. It is some of my favorite. It's like one of those meals you don't think about though. Like you kind of forget about it, and then it's like, oh yeah, like that's actually really good. I should probably put that as a recipe. It'd be kind of fun. Although I feel like I want to do recipes that I feel like people ask for a lot, and other than us, I don't think anyone in our family ever cooks that, so probably not gonna worry about doing that. Probably do things that most people like more, like the sticky buns and, well, okay, like coleslaw salad, like that. And then like I think I took a picture of my mom's macaroni and cheese recipe, like a baked one. So I got that. Oops, put the layer on the wrong. My gosh, I'm so hungry. I should just drink more of my tea. Okay, we got this line down here. When in doubt, just draw inside the line and then you can add another line to fix it up. That's what I've learned. Because I don't want to have to draw it again. Let's get this here. I'm probably going to, in the end, decide that I don't even want these tiers and then end up taking them out. But it do be like that sometimes when you're working on projects. Sometimes you like it and then you'll open the file back up and you'll be like, what was I thinking? This looks terrible. But, you know, today I opened the children's books files and it looked fine. So it's not every time. Sometimes it works. But you gotta let it cook, you know? Okay. Let's get. It's our last layer, yes. It's our last keyframe. Okay, let's do this. And then we can move on. Okay, you know what? Why am I doing this with the onions getting on? These are like distracting me. I don't know why I was doing that. Then we can work on the recipes for 30 minutes, which should be good. I was thinking about streaming longer, but I am literally getting really hungry. And I feel like in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to want dinner. So maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow I would stream longer. We'll see. We're getting a lot done though. So yeah, it's not like I feel like, oh, I need to work more. Like I feel pretty good about everything we got accomplished today. Draw this line. Yeah, I can't wait to see what music Joe writes for this. All right, that was it. That was the last. Look, I did here. Okay, look, I gotta fix this. Almost done, I swear. We're close. I need to fix this. Somehow I ended up drawing over the line, but that's all right. We still got time. It's only 5:27. I got a couple more minutes. There we go. Okay, cool. Let's play it. Let's run it back. I still might speed up this scene a little. Try not to watch it with the... It's distracting me. Okay, there we go. This is a bit more how it will be seen. Oh, hold up. Look at this layer, guys. I didn't draw in the blue. This is really fast, I promise. I feel like I'm telling myself more like, Emma, it's not a lot of work. It's just real quick. It's like me talking myself through it. Boom. Okay. Let's zoom it in. Run it back. Good. All right. Let's play it from the beginning because this is tradition. Every time I work on it, I run it back just so we can... Where single scene playback turn off. See how it looks. Ignore that scene back there. Pans out. Back. Enter scene. Boop-a-doop boop. Puts up the ladder. Climbs up. The penguins freak out, running for their life. Oh, they got Brian. Brian, no. Oh, no. Greg, no. Reggie cries. Anime tears. More anime tears. Boom. Then these will be, we gotta work on these tomorrow. I actually really like the tears. I think I'm gonna just keep that. I should make the next scenes, guys, where I have, let's go. Like when it cuts to here, should I just have Reggie still in a puddle of tears, like all through here? Maybe that's what I do. That could be kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. All right, let's open, let me open Photoshop. I think I'm just gonna keep this playing. Right. I think I'll keep looping. Yeah. Loop it back. All right, Photoshop. Let me find the file while I play that for you guys again. Let's see where I put those. It's the never-ending dig through the files. Okay, I know I put it under... Was it in here? Oh yeah, recipe collection. Okay, so first we need our PureRef file. I'm just gonna save that. Open it again. Let's take a look where we were. And we were doing our rough ideas. All right, so cheesecake didn't look half bad. Let's pause this. Try to save that. Okay, so let's, in case you guys weren't here last time, what I am doing is I am turning family recipes into artwork. And so it will include the directions and the ingredients that you'll need, but we'll also have the illustrations of whatever the recipe is for. So in this case, it's a cheesecake. And so it'll be like functional wall art. So you'll be able to like hang it in your kitchen or dining room, or, you know, probably you'd want it near the kitchen. And then, you know, whenever you need the recipe, it's like right there. So I'm doing recipes that like family members frequently ask for. And this cheesecake is one of the like top recipes. Most people ask my mom for it. And so I thought if I make it into art, you know, I could just gift it to people. And then that way they can, you know, have it in their house and it doesn't just sit in a box. So it's like practical. It's like a practical piece of art. So that's the plan. And I also think it's gonna be fun to like try and illustrate the food, which I have not done food really much before. So right now I have cheesecake, one. The second one we worked on was ginger snap cookies. And you can see here, I just kind of like thumbnailed out where I want the text to be and where I want like the illustrations to be. And then we had started doing, this is an apple floogie, and its illustrations look like it's bad. This one kind of looks like fried egg. So that's where we left last week. I was trying to figure out how to make the apple floogie look delicious. But granted, this is just a thumbnail. I think what it needs is I'm going to put like a scoop of ice cream next to it because it's so good with ice cream. Typically we do like vanilla ice cream. So maybe we do like ice cream scoop. And then let's put another one back here maybe. So we get like a 3. I could put like flecks of vanilla in it. This is our fill layer. And then maybe instead of a plate, like it is kind of, it's like, it has a lot of like juice from the apples. Like I feel like a low dish or bowl would be appropriate. So I think I need to do that. But then what I'm going to do, I kind of wanted to do is like thumbnail them out first before I went like crazy on fixing up all of the illustrations, like practically doing it. So I'm just going to work on the next recipe after this one. And I just kind of want to like bang those out and then do, so it's like the top, the crust. There we go. And then the apples are in here. Which apples kind of have like a peachy tone. I feel like I'm tracking better today than I was. Sometimes, I'm not sure. So my mom does this. I know sometimes my grandmother will put raisins in with it, but I don't know if that's in the original recipe. It doesn't seem to have it included in the ingredients, so I think I'm gonna leave it out. I'm not a ginormous raisin person. Like kind of like they're all right. I'm learning to like them. Like most of the things I didn't like when I was a kid, I'm pretty much learning to like them, but sometimes I don't see that they add much to it. So I'm not always convinced that it needed to be included. But I do realize some people like them, so you know, to each their own. Desserts. Okay, the vanilla. Let's lighten up the top a little bit. I'm gonna put some flecks in it. Do, do, do. Okay, now I need to add the low dish that it's in. So I'm gonna be looking like downward. How do I... Question is, what's gonna be the best way to tackle this? Where like we can properly see it, but we realize, dang guys, this is harder than it looks. Anytime I have to draw an oval, your girl struggles. Let's look for reference. Nobody should have to do it alone. Okay, like a shallow. Let's look with food. Let's check out how these other people. So it's honestly to be able to see the bottom like we are, we're almost looking straight down on it. So it's kind of hard to tell if it's a bowl at that point. This angle is not bad. Let me show you guys. Maybe something like this. Let's give this a shot. I'm gonna merge these. But wait, I'm not going to. I'm going to merge some of it. And actually, heck, I'm just gonna merge it. I hate having to mess with all these layers when I'm trying to. So if it's about that perspective, so here's what's gonna happen. The rim needs to be up here for there. And I don't, actually I may have taken it too high because I don't want it to cover the bottom of the food like what's happening here. So let's modify ours a little, but we are still gonna get some. We're gonna get some of this edge in here. A little bit like this. So we can tell it's a bowl, but it's not, we're not seeing it at like this angle, you know? So we're going to be careful with how we work on drawing that. And maybe it has like maybe it flattens out. I kind of like the gentle curve though. I'll just use some lines to indicate the bowls, the curve of the bowl. And then a little shadowing on this side. For now, this is thumbnailing purposes. It does not have to be perfect, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. Something a bit more like that. I do think this edge could come up a little. Not bad. Not gonna lie, it still looks bad. This is what I'm gonna have to do. I need to ask around for people to send me pictures if they've taken any of the apple like flugy. So I gotta ask family and stuff. My mom might have some pictures. I'm gonna keep this here because I think I might need it later. Okay, so let's take a look at the recipe. There aren't any instructions for this one, so that's kind of an L. I think I was saying last week that I need to get my mom to write them down because I feel like people are gonna want that. Like we know the recipe like well enough, but I feel like some people might be confused. Like it's pretty basic. You put the apples and the sugar into and the cinnamon in the apples and stuff, but you also put this might actually only be the ingredients for the topping. Yeah, okay, we definitely need instructions then because you know what? Like I could figure it out, but that's only because I know what the end product is supposed to taste like and look like. But I don't want anyone to have to go through that. So, cooking's hard enough, right? Let's see here. All of these are going to be in like vertical perspective. So actually I kind of like the idea of being this on the bottom here. And so the recipe be apple, loogie. Something cute like that. Let's put it more in the center. Kind of like that for the top. It would also be kind of fun to add in like maybe like I feel like the gingham pattern prints are pretty common when it comes to like baking and cooking, like that kind of design. Maybe have those like slightly like faded into the edge here. That could be kind of cute. Like, I don't know. Let's put that down there and then erase some of it out. So it'd be like it would fade a little into the white. Be like that type of deal. And then we could have some behind the text. I also think what I'm gonna do, I also need my mom to write out. So like I'm actually tracing my mom's handwriting for the recipes. So I'm wondering if I'm gonna I might do the title in a regular font. So it's more like a separation where it's like, this is the recipe and then the ingredients are all. But I might have her like, if like, so here I don't have full apple fluky written out. I could have her just write it for me so I could then copy it into here. Okay, so it would be separated into topping, which is this recipe. So maybe some like details here, then into here. And then we would go into, do you call it like the filling? Not really filling, but because there's no bottom crust, it's just on the top. And then maybe put it in here. Maybe we could have like a fun arrow. And again, we could fill this space a little here with the gingham type pattern prints. Because that would not be too hard to make. Yeah, this is cute actually. I like this. Let's check. Let me go and check. Also, I was saving these. I take screenshots of them and put them in PureRef so I can see them. all together. This one in here. Add it to the group. Oh. All right, so I did actually save some recipes that aren't dessert related. Let me pull up my Google Photos. Let's see, that was, here we go. Let me look through what we got. We've got 7-layer bars. We've got Rice Krispie treats. That's all dessert. Sticky buns. We are going to do those. What's this for? Oh, perfect cornbread. Okay. My mom made that a lot. Funnel cakes. Banana bread. Apple pancakes. Oh, I took a picture of the sauerbraten, actually. Okay, cool. So I can tell you guys exactly what's in this. Let's do the sauerbraten since I was literally just talking about that. Although I was saying that I probably shouldn't do it because not many people asked for it. I'll do it for my mom because she makes it. That's all that matters. She'll appreciate the artwork. So it's got, I can't read some of this handwriting. Something chuck, rump, or round, which is the beef. Onions chopped or diced or sliced. Wine vinegar. It must be red wine vinegar. Water, salt. Mixed pickling spice. Oh, and sugar. Interesting. Soak and marinate 2 to 3 days. Turning every day. I did not know you had to turn it. Good to know. And then for the spätzles, it's flour, egg, salt. Oh, and a little bit of milk, apparently. Looks like she's already tripled the recipe here. I think we'll just do the basic because some of our recipes are tripled and stuff. Just because we needed a lot of portions. But I feel like for normal people, the regular servings probably fine. So in terms of like how it looks, it's usually just like a big chunk of beef. It looks a bit like a log. And then she slices it into like slices. And then I feel like we typically make a gravy from like the juices after you cook it. So I don't know. Do I add a little glass with gravy in it? I don't know. The little ladle maybe. Like why not? And then I just gotta ask her. I could get the recipe for how to do that. You essentially just cook it down and then add like a thickener to it. Typically we use like cornstarch. But sometimes my one brother Joe is able to do it with like flour, which I usually like a little bit better. There's different ways you can thicken things. Cornstarch is just the easiest. And usually when we're doing like holiday meals, you want it easy because you've got like 10 other things going on that you're cooking. So it's funny because like I know how to cook these things, but like I've never fully done it myself. I'm usually just like in the kitchen helping. So I'm very familiar with like all the process, but I'm not. Oh wait, this one would go over this one. Like I can't say I've actually done it myself. So maybe one of these days. Actually, I think I made it too big. Guys, we're having it either tomorrow or the day after. So if I have to come back and fix whatever happened here, that's not a problem. And so there's like the grain of the meat. Hold up. Sour, rotten. Okay, finally. The other thing what was I Googling? Oh, apple fluky. There was nothing on the internet for that. I could not find it anywhere. Okay, why does theirs look so fake? This food doesn't look real. It's not. Okay, I found a better one. Oh, this is more like a triangle shape, actually. I think that's usually how ours look. You know, you think I would know these things. Like, I've eaten this so many times. All right, we're just gonna, this is for the purposes of just filling the space. All right, so we got slices. That's what we're gonna say. These are the slices. They're not really following the shape. They're laying out on a plate. We got gravy. Do we put... I'm not gonna put a cutting board or plate or anything down. Like, I just want it to be about the meat in this picture. And then we're gonna do something similar. Actually, let's flip this. We're gonna do something similar to the other one where I did like a plate. What I want is to have a whole plate because the spätzles are part of the recipe. And those... Oh wait, we should have the gravy. Guys, I'm getting ideas like every 5 seconds. Maybe a bowl. A shallow bowl here with the spätzles in it. They're just kind of like lumpy, like little dough. There we go. They don't sound good from the description, but they actually are good. They're like a soft noodle. A little bit like a dumpling, but they don't have anything inside. And you can pour like the gravy over top. It's pretty darn good. Okay, so we got like our little trio going on there. And then for the full plate, be a bit something like this. And so we'd have the meat and spätzles. I think what happened is we started like, I think the German way is like Spätzle. But we Englishified it so we could pronounce it. And then we also made it plural. I don't think you're supposed to do that. I think it's S-P-A with an umlaut, T-C-L-E, Spätzle. Let's see what the internet says. How do I pronounce this? Oh, a Spätzle? A Spätzle? Spätzle? I need to hear someone say this. Pronunciation. Like, Gemini's trying to tell me how to say it, but I need to hear someone. Okay, let's just make sure. It's probably gonna be really loud. I need to know this because I speak a fair amount of German, and if I can't pronounce this right, that'd be really embarrassing. Wait, why don't I hear it? What? It's not muted, there's just no audio. Am I crazy? Am I tripping, guys? What is happening? Alright. It's time to pull out my phone. I'm not gonna be satisfied until I know how to pronounce this. How to pronounce Spät. Spät. S. Videos. I need to know. Oh, an ad. Of course. Okay, that's the worst part about mobile. So you can't get ad block. Okay. Okay. He's giving me history on it. I don't need history, I need pronunciation. Spitzer? Spätzle. Spätzle. I don't know why that feels weird to me. Well, I guess the E at the end. Spätzle. All right. Well, there you go. It seems like it's more than just German too, because it has different names. It says in Switzerland, Hungary. Yeah, lots of people make them. Okay, so it's not just German, which I didn't know. I feel like that's what we were always told, but that's why you got to Google things. Okay, so they're like here, and then what do we got? What else do we eat with it? We have more than that typically. Well, we usually have like my mama also do like mashed potatoes, but I don't want to like steal from like what it's supposed to be. So maybe I just do gravy like on the meat, and then the spätzles or spätzle. That feels weird to say, guys. I have to practice that one. We'll put it here. Let's just say the Pennsylvania way to, because there's different ways to pronounce it, right? So in Pennsylvania, people say spätzles instead of spätzle. So yeah, it's a Pennsylvania thing. It's legit. It's for sure. It's just another. It's a Pennsylvania dialect, you know. Okay, we kind of. It doesn't look great, but once we color it in, it'll be a bit more believable. My gosh, guys, I'm hungry. Oh, I don't like that brush. Let's do this one instead. This one almost works like a watercolor, because see how you can layer the paint? And it's like slightly transparent. It's like I either really don't want that type of brush, or I really want it because I like how you can layer the textures. Okay. And then the gravy's actually fairly dark when we make this kind. It's not like turkey gravy, but it's more red. Sometimes we add, I know with the turkey, we add wine to our gravy. I can't remember if we do that with these, with the sauerbraten. So maybe I need to ask about that as well. On the upside of doing this, I feel like we're kind of, we're answering a lot of questions about recipes that would not have been answered unless I tried to make them into this wall art. These are actually more like white looking, but I kind of want to make it look a little more appetizing, so I'm adding some color in here. There we go. We might have to change that up a little bit later. Not for now, because it's not like, it's not macaroni. Oh shoot, that's way too. But it's not like white. It's more like a cream color, you know? I mean, it's imagine like you put egg and flour together and then you boiled it. That's about the color it's gonna be. I promise it's actually good. It sounds literally terrible, but it's actually really good. Especially once you put the gravy on it. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, that was the gravy. I thought that was, I colored in the gravy like it was beef. That's how you know you did a not so good job coloring it in. Let's put a little gravy on the spätzle. There we go. Yeah, I'm determined. Okay, so what if, how about we use maybe like a bluish colored dish? A little color contrast, you know? Like a blue, gray. That could be nice. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we do, I think we keep it grayish, mostly gray, slightly blue. Because I don't want it to steal away too much of the attention. Like, the important part is the dish. Okay, so we're gonna merge layers so I can move these around. I'm thinking what I would do, So finished plate will be down here. So there's two different recipes technically. One's for the meat, and then one is for the spätzle. And then I think so the grater looks like it's like this. Let me show you guys. And it's got like a handle on it here and here. It looks like a big cheese grater. Right? And then it has this like this part that goes on. So imagine here's your pot. Oh shoot, that's right. Imagine this is your pot, right? The grater goes on top, this thing here. And then there's like this little slider thing that goes over the grater, and it slides back and forth. And there's like a little box in here where you can put the dough into. And then you just like push it back and forth and it grades into the boiling water down here. And then I want to say once it starts to float, that's how you know they're done. And then you can, fish them out. But that's how it works. So I'm kind of wondering if I should incorporate the grater because that's kind of like a big part of my memory of them. So we do like the grater. And then like a pot. Like a little pot back here. And then what else? Maybe like the dough all ready to go. Something like that. And do I need the top for the grater? I don't think so. I know ours broke at some point and my mom just freehands it. That's probably how it was done traditionally to begin with before they had all the gadgets. I know also, like I just remember this, I watched like someone make it properly on YouTube once, and they had like a cutting board, and they had was it like one of those bread scraper things, but you like slide it down thin and then you like cut it quickly into the boiling water as it's cooking, and then you like grab another piece and you make it thin and then you quickly, so it's like it's not grated in. This is how we did it. It's easier. It's not as authentic, but traditionally it was like cut into it. So but I want to do it this way because this is how the Pennsylvanians do it. Totally authentic. Maybe I can make like the handle on the grater red. Who's to say they're not? I'm sure somewhere they sell one like that. Ours was just white. But red would like kind of look cute with like, it would tie in with the color of the meat. And then the pot, like metal, like silver, we're getting like those tones. And then we would get a warmer shade, like a yellow tan for the dough here. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. All right, the question is, let's merge these. How do we want to display this? I kind of like this trio we got going here. I think I'll make this smaller though, because it's more like a side note thing. Let's make the border so we can see. Be about like that. And I'll probably go here. Eventually I'm gonna make them all, because that would be the bottom. This one's gonna be like center-ish top. Got this one. What's that look up there? So it's all TZLE. Yeah, I think that was right. Sour button. And then we would have the directions for that, blah, 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 here. And then for the spätzle there. And to depending on how much it takes up, probably down here. If not, maybe I can incorporate like some other pattern design. That'd be kind of, maybe just like some decoration. I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like after that, let's see what else I got. All my pictures are taken sideways, so I gotta turn my head to see them. Oh, shoe fly pie. That's like a, I don't know if it's German or it could be Amish or like Pennsylvania Dutch, but shoe fly pies are where it's at. I love them. It's like a pie with like a molasses like bottom, and then on top it's like, how do you explain it? It's like not like dough, but you make like it's like sugar, butter, flour, and when the liquid of the molasses is in the bottom of the pie pan, you sprinkle on top the flour, sugar, and butter. And as it bakes, it creates a separation layer, so you get like the crispy like top of the shoe fly pie that's like buttery and sugary, and then you get the layer at the bottom that's like slightly, it's not like liquid, but it's like a thicker liquid of the molasses, and it's so good together. Yeah, it's really good. But guys, it is after 6 and I am starving, especially after doing all this food, but I'm gonna be back tomorrow with more food. More, we'll be working on this, of course, and then also Reggie. We'll work on the Reggie story again and the children's book. And I might get around to showing you guys the patterns I've been working on, because I'll be working on those tomorrow morning as well. So I'm hoping to get kind of far on those. I've narrowed it down to like my top 6 patterns that I'm going to keep. So I'm just like finalizing them. But I should have a new like surface design collection to release soon. So that's exciting, which is good because it'll give me more time to work on this collection, which I really want to do. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Although tomorrow is New Year's Day. I don't, honestly, I'm going to stream anyway because I'm going to be doing the work, so I might as well stream it. So holiday or not, I'll be streaming. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you everybody who watched, and I hope you guys have a happy new year. Stay up late if you can, but if you're tired, go to sleep, and we will see you in the new year tomorrow. Bye everyone.